I just don't trust people enough, bro.
Yeah.
People can't keep secrets.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched that show, The First 48?
Nuh-uh.
It's where they're trying to solve a murder, right? The moment they get one person that was involved or was there, listen, he's spilling the fucking beans.
Right.
Every single time, it doesn't matter. When he's sitting in there and then they're like, we got him, we know. And he's sitting there alone and they come back like, listen, man, we know. He's like, I know. This is his social security number, man. People can't keep secrets.
Sure.
No.
So yeah, weapons of mass destruction. Like we found out eventually, right? So they couldn't keep that secret. So what other, if they couldn't keep that.
If the earth was flat, we would know by now, my dog.
Why would we lie about that?
Well, that's also
there must be a motive to the crime.
That is also my other question.
Like the moon one, you could be like, hey, we were trying to bankrupt the USSR.
Yes.
And yada, yada. At least there's a motive,
There's 9/11. There's motives behind that conspiracy theory, correct. What's the fucking benefit of flat Earth? Who does it serve? What purpose?
Yeah, I think we asked that too.
Yeah, we did. What's surface?
Well, I think someone they don't want you to try to explore behind the ice wall, or that's where the real land or some shit. I'm like,
bro. I found myself on one of the weirdest sides of TikTok the other day, right? So there's a whole conspiracy that you can walk through the Grand Canyon and end up in Africa.
What the?
Serious, I'm not even playing. This sounds fucking bonkers, right? There's a whole.
How many of these people are just trolling people?
Yeah, really,
I think it starts out as that, like the birds ain't real. Do you know that started out as a whole fucking trolling?
This one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that started out as a troll, and the next thing you know, people were getting fired for doing the OK sign.
Boom! It exploded, right? And because the internet, bro.
Kekistan.
You can't.
Oh, the internet was funny.
You can't. A lot of people just can't differentiate. Like some people, like
you guys remember Big Man Tyrone?
Yeah. The internet, dog. Yeah, bro. The internet's a great place, bro. It really is.
Big Man Tyrone, the president of Kekistan.
Bro. That what's his name? Talking about the internet and fucking fighters and shit like that. What was his name, bro? He was in the Backyard Brawls. Why can't I think of him? He passed
Kimbo.
away.
Oh, Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo Slice, bro. Man, you remember watching his videos and he would just fucking just drop.
Yeah, I remember when he lost to that cop, and I was like, no.
Yeah, because he was like unbeatable, bro. Like those videos were
and
the
then
shit.
He went to UFC, right? He came to UFC, and he didn't really do much.
No,
he was better. Some people just better.
Street fighting.
You got to know your place, bro.
Yeah.
UFC fighters are real.
Well,
they
no.
exist.
Listen, though, it's the same reason.
Prove it. It's a conspiracy. The fight was rigged.
They're not even real people, bro. They're clones. There's another one. That's another one. Me and my son got in the Dom. I'm throwing you under the bus. Me and my son got in this argument the other day because I'll entertain conspiracy theories, bro. I love a good conspiracy theory. I want to have this conversation.
I want to believe some.
So do I.
Some shit's out there.
Because, like you said, the government, they ain't been the most forthcoming motherfuckers on the face of the earth, right? So let's talk about it. So the cloning, the human cloning, right?
You think there's cloning?
I just don't see the benefit of it, right? Okay. I don't see like Kodak Black is an example that we use. Like he's big in the hip hop community, but like, what purpose does it serve to clone Kodak Black? What benefit are they getting? What's the ROI here?
Of all people, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's dope. He's got a fan base. He makes music for his fit. Like no disrespect to what he does, but what benefit does it have to clone him? What direction is he leading the people?
Mankind at all doesn't benefit.
You could have so many super gremlins.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So like I'd like what does cloning people?
So you see that movie The Island?
I don't think. Oh,
Scarlett Johansson. So most people say if you're really rich and you don't have a problem with resources, the only thing that is in your way is your death. Right? Like if you're a billionaire, so your body's going to give out eventually. That's the only thing you can't fix. You can buy sex, you can buy wives, you can buy businesses. There's nothing else you can't get except for your health. So we cloned Dolly in 1996, I think.
Yeah.
So you're telling me we can't clone humans now? Of course the technology exists.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it.
So the thought is, one, you could clone body parts potentially. Singular parts by themselves. So that's probably technology we'll have at some point where, if you have a liver, instead of getting a transplant, you grow your own liver in a tray.
Yep.
Or the conspiracy is that you make a copy of yourself and somebody raises it in a cult or in a barn somewhere, and then when your heart or your organs fail, you go collect it and put the new one in. You don't have to worry about autoantibodies or anything because it's you. See, that's where they think that
there's a movie, bro, where there's like these two different realities.
Yeah,
like these, like you're saying,
it's The Island.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what my brother.
So when they get called up, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to the island," and really they kill them and take their body parts
because they're the clone of that other person.
They're the life insurance, is what it like.
Because your body can reject other people's organs.
but it can't reject yours if it's
it's you.
grown for you. See, that I can see
and
realistically.
It's a brand new fresh liver, never drank, never whatever else.
And that's easier than trying to transfer your actual fucking existence into that body, right?
Right.
So you just use them, you're organ harvesting.
Right, right. Which we probably can't ever do. Like, people think that our consciousness exists like electronically, but we don't think we can actually separate that from the body. Like, so even if you took the impulses, it still wouldn't be you probably.
I would have to completely agree with that, because like there's just a piece to the puzzle.
You are your body.
Like, yes. And your consciousness is tethered to that.
I know Elon Musk thinks he's gonna,
I don't think so.
He
ain't gonna do it. I don't think so either. Maybe not this lifetime, bro.
What's crazy is death is an evolutionary strategy. Like, it's designed to create diversity in our gene pool. Like, it's literally every life designed to die. That's crazy. Even though like our biological imperative is to live and do everything possible to live and reproduce, but you need new generations to diversify the gene pool to make a stronger species, which means the old ones have to die, even if they're like pretty healthy and pretty good.
It's part of the evolutionary process.
The name of the game is new, genetically diverse, capable of fighting off anything else.
So
the individual doesn't matter. It's only the species.
So what do you think? You think the consciousness goes somewhere else?
Probably not.
You think the consciousness is as an entity of itself, or is it completely tethered to the body?
Well, consciousness is this is like Einsteinian principles, right? Like, I don't know, like time is relative, so it could be that like as you approach death, time stops and dilates for you, and that goes on forever, but the rest of the world keeps going and you're not with it, I think. So
yeah,
it's possible that when people are dying, that moment for them is eternal, or something like that. And whatever that plane or whatever they are there, but the rest of us, like, time is a weird fucking thing.
It really is.
Like linear time. Like, and especially when you hit our age and shit, and you're like, damn, I remember when this was cool or this was cool. Or
it's weird though, because I remember, like, when people say 10 years ago, my ass still thinks 1999. And that was not,
no,
my brother, that was 2013.
Yeah.
Almost.
That's funny.
So, and it's weird because I was having this conversation the other day. Sometimes I remember things from my like teenage back more than I remember things from fucking 10 years ago better.
Time speeds up,
It does.
They say life is like a toilet paper roll. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes.
Faster. One of my first producers, Q, he tried to explain it to me like scientifically. He's like, no, listen, every year we're losing like a fragment of a second. Whenever we go around the sun, you got to listen. It's speeding up every single. He sat down and like tried.
I mean,
like,
sure, but
I'm like, Q, brother, I'm just trying to record a verse, my dude. Like, what the fuck is going on here, my dude?
Am I getting charged for this?
Like, listen, bro. Yeah, like, bro, it's 25 an hour here.
So here's the thing too. When you're young, like you have biomarkers, like annual biomarkers when you're in school. It's like you take the summer off, you come back, you're a sophomore, you're a junior. So you know what year it is, you know what year you were in school. So it puts these like markers in your head over time, like, oh, I know where I was in 99, I know where I was in 97 because I was a 7th, 8th grader or whatever. When you get older, you kind of do the same shit for several years and you don't have those markers.
Yeah.
So it's just like, damn, where'd the last 5 years go? I was in the same job, same space, same house.
So it doesn't, especially the last fucking 3 years, they all blend together. I want these last.
Imagine being like 80, bro. That's we're saying that at like 40. People that are like 80, like, you have no idea,
no clue.
I'm like, don't fucking tell me that.
And I used to be like, I do have a clue.
I hope I get there.
Now I'm 37. I'm like, you're right. I don't have a.
The more you know, the more you realize you don't know jack shit, man.
And I think that's a very high sign of intelligence, brother. Because people that feel like they know everything usually are on that lower spectrum. Because when I felt like I knew everything, I realized now I didn't know shit.
Well, I think that's a gift and a curse too, because like sometimes that self-belief, that just overwhelming, like fighters, like if you're 5-0 and you've been dusting people, you don't even think you can lose. So you go out there and you manifest that shit.
Yep.
When you get knocked out a couple times, you're like, damn, I really can lose, and you start doubting and you start kind of holding back.
It breaks that power.
Yeah, I think that happens when you get proven wrong on shit. I think that happens when you fail at relationships and things like that. So it gives you probably better sense of self and wisdom, but it might even get in the way of success in some ways too, Because sometimes just blind confidence, brother, will take you so fucking far. If you believe in yourself, other people believe in you, and it just cycles back to you, and just everything falls your way. Yeah, there's been until times, it doesn't. There's been times in my life where like, and it's inevitable. I feel like I've created some of my fucking worst panic attacks that I've ever had, like thinking about like where we go after we die, and like big, huge, like thinking about like the universe and how massive it is and how small we are, and then going back into like our stomachs, how there's organisms living inside of our stomach, like we're living inside of the universe. Oh yeah, you got more bacterial cells than your cells. Exactly. and to them we're the universe, correct? Right? Just same way we're living on planet Earth, they're living I mean, they probably don't have consciousness, but yeah.
Yeah, and we don't even know that. They might. Fuckers might actually have consciousness. So, like, for me, I feel like my thought process has brought on some of the worst panic attacks in my life. And there's been times when I'm like, man, I just wish, like, I didn't fucking turn off, bro. I don't want to think like this. Why can't I just be completely ignorant to this type of thought process?
Interesting.
I feel like that's happened to me a couple of times. So sometimes it's a gift. It's a gift and a curse, brother. Sometimes I wish I had ignorance to hide behind it, brother.
You know.
So on that fucking
and
note,
I just knew that I was going to a planet where I was going to be the god. And
yeah, bro. Well, think about what is it? Men in Black, right? What's that one fucking scene where they open up that. They open up the locker in the fucking.
Oh yeah.
And it's all those people like it's God. Yeah. He shuts it like. It's the same type of thought process, bro. Yeah.
I mean, assuming the universe is out there, right? Like, none of us have left here, so none of us know.
Right.
And
we're just looking at telescopes and trying to mathematically model shit that's further away than we could even possibly ever see.
Well, the Hubble, the images that came back from the Hubble telescope, right?
Yeah.
Like, I looked at them, I'm like, that's cool.
It could be anything, you know?
I could call up Jesh and be like, listen, Jesh, we need some images from the Hubble telescope.
Right.
And then
like, I got the supernova.
Well, there was a guy though, and he was like, "Listen, every fucking moment of light from this fucking picture, this is another galaxy in another universe." And then there was just one person in the comments that like, "How the fuck do you know?"
Yeah, you're like, that looks like a picture of my countertop.
Seriously, my iPhone takes better pictures than that, man. I don't know what that is, bro. You can't tell me for sure, and that's what gives validity to any kind of those conversations.
They have that Mars rover, right?
Yeah.
And like I just seen this new video. And it's like this little like it's on the side in the side of the fucking like rock, right? But it's like a little like doorway, and so they're like zooming in, and I go through the comments and there's all this fucking $5 billion rover can't drive up and really see what the fuck that thing is.
Yeah,
they're
right.
like zooming in and like circling it, and then it just like restarts, and it's like,
bro, go knock on the door. What the fuck?
Seriously, bro, you're there alone, my dude. You got wheels.
Or is it?
It looks like Arizona, bruh. Mars looks like Arizona. Bro, I'm with y'all. Let's have some conspiracy talks here.
Funny.
They ain't on Mars. So they're in Arizona.
So they're filming the Mars stuff in Arizona. Where are they filming the moon shit?
It was what's his name? Stanley Kubrick, bruh. He threw hints in The Shining too. I read y'all's comments. I know. I pay attention to you guys' conspiracy theories.
Hey, the footage is pretty shady.
I mean, it's total shit, bro.
For real, yeah.
And see, that's a conspiracy
So
theory.
what if we went and then they didn't know that the film was going to be damaged by the radiation, and so they reshot it so that we didn't waste money?
That's also a part of it. But see, for me to entertain those ideas of conspiracy theories.
Every option has to be a possibility,
and
right?
there's got to be
in
a
the
reason.
likelihood order.
And there's got to be a reason for it. Like you said, like
it could be totally straight, right? It could be that we went and we just fucked up the footage because we hadn't done this before, so we didn't know what the radiation would do to, you know.
Or they were like, man, it's got to look like shit.
Right. Or it was so shitty that they reshot it.
Yeah. All those are very possibilities.
You know?
Very possible because we were not there. We weren't, realistically. But the one that I just cannot get behind, and I'm going to stand on that statement, I might die on this hill. The earth is a fucking globe, my guys. It is round.
Yeah. I'm going to go with him.
I
can't even entertain that shit.
Neither can I, man. So we should probably introduce the pod on that note, right?
On that note.
You are now tuned in to Respect the Connect. I'm your host, Johnny James. My brother Jay's here. What's poppin', Jay?
Chilling out, bro. What's poppin' with you?
We're joined by another special motherfucking guest.
Hell yeah.
We got Dr. Beau Hightower in the building. Make some motherfucking noise.
Yes.
What's good, brother?
Konnichiwa.
Thank you for pulling up, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, you know, I've been wanting to get you on the pod for a minute, but I had to learn how to do this first. You know what I'm saying?
It's a podcast?
Yeah, it's a whole process.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it either.
No,
now.
I'm a creative person, but like...
Am I too close to the mic?
Yeah, you're too far. You know what I'm saying? It's not a real mic.
This is ASMR.
It's a flat. It's a flat mic. Yeah. It's not real. It's a conspiracy theory mic.
It's not real.
We're just going to replace
It's a Truman Show, bro.
Yeah.
So who's the main character?
You never know.
That's something an NPC would say.
Yeah, it is something. Yeah, 100%. Unless you're an NPC on Grand Theft Auto, then it's like, bitch, I fucked your chicken and I'm gonna rob a bank.
Yeah, right.
That's what those NPCs
What if you really
play.
were the NPC in somebody else's Truman Show, but you thought it was you the whole time? You thought it was your show.
That's that one movie with Ryan Reynolds. Not Yes Man. Where he's a fucking video game character.
I didn't see it, but Free Guy,
it's
right?
It's so good, bro. Free Guy, it's fucking awesome, bro. He loses his shit too because one of the characters in the actual, she's like, listen, you're a non-playable character. He's like, what does that mean? Like, he like loses his shit, but they introduced AI into him, so he's like evolving. So he's actually seeing what's going on behind it. that would fuck me up, man.
Yeah.
I probably would fucking jump off of a damn cliff.
So how do you feel about the metaverse?
I feel like I seen some images of it the other day. Oh my God. This dude's like, listen, man, they've spent millions of dollars on this piece of shit and it looks worse than the first Nintendo 64.
Bro, Zuck's gonna kill the company, bro.
Oh, bro, like we talked about this before, right? Okay.
Nobody wants to be in that shit, man.
No, man, we want real. I think there's people. There's got to be a balance here, bro. Like people, especially for the past 3 years, people have been hidden away. A lot of people are still barely coming out of their shell now, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing it because people are showing up to events that usually is be like, even local shows. You go down to a local show, it's like, what the fuck? There's fucking people here. Where 4 years ago, people were like, no, fuck no, I'm not going to the Sunshine Theater on a Thursday. Now it's like, Sunshine on a Thursday, let's fucking go.
Let's do so, let's rage.
Instead of being inside the fucking shitty-ass metaverse with some pixelated people.
Yeah.
I had brought this up before, like...
Bro, when I was a kid, they tried to do the Virtua Boy, and that shit fucking bombed too. I think people don't like. I think biologically you feel vulnerable when you're like that.
Yeah.
None of us want somebody sneaking up on you, walking up on you. You know, like
I don't like it.
You'll never catch me in that shit, bro.
I'm a hater, bro. My son has an Oculus, and I'm constantly
hating
on it. Oh yeah, a couple of times. I just okay.
You feel weird in there?
Super weird. I was fucking Ralphed, and I got a solid stomach, bro. I was playing the Walking Dead game, and he told me because I guess I was walking around myself. I'm used to the joysticks. I'm from the generation of joysticks, so I'm moving around like this, and I'm like, he's like, no, Dad, you got to move around with your head. So I'm like, it was cool, but it's not just. I don't know. Maybe I'm the old guy at the party now, but I'm cool, man. I don't need it, bruh. And we talked about this before. Like, I feel like. It's just, I don't know, bro. Like, it's just fucking weird to me, dog. Like, I can't even imagine. And a lot of people are going to use it for, like, actual human interaction. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to be in there fucking trying to hook up with fucking females and having metaverse sex with a fucking pixelated avatar. Yeah. Right?
I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, those sensations are chemical, and we've already been able to, like, reproduce them. Like, you know, GHB, MDMA, like... You know, you refine it enough, you get some like injector, like an insulin pump or something, and you could probably just make your body do that all day. You don't even need the external stimuli. That's what it's going to be.
Brother, if you ever find me with goggles on, fucking a virtual bitch instead of my woman.
The fleshlight?
Fleshlight on my...
Hey, bro, the child support payments drop off, though.
That's true.
You know?
That is true, though. That is true. And I got 4 of them, too, bro. Luckily, I ain't got no child support payments, so I'm good. But you brought up a fair point. I said I'm done with 4. I mean, I'm not snipped, so I technically might not be done at 4. Bro.
You know?
Don't be putting that.
So maybe the metaverse is for you.
Yeah, it might be. Fucking a pixelated, crazy ass.
I can't afford another one, so fuck it.
Where's the graphics? Someone needs to step in and be like, listen, this needs to look better, fellas.
The fuck? Yeah, they're like the last one I seen. There was like no legs and shit.
They look like shit. So you're gonna be out here fucking paraplegic?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
weird
what
cartoon.
What's going on in the metaverse?
Like that's another question I have.
I feel like graphics. Maybe they're maxed out. I remember reading that somewhere. That like it's hard to make big improvements on. Like video game graphics now, like
I feel like it's better if you're gonna do that. I feel like people are already in their areas.
Human movement is really hard to replicate. Like if you look at like 2K or like Madden, no matter how clear it is, like the movements still feel weird.
Jittery. So whoever created our simulation is a fucking genius,
right?
Because look how seamless this is, and we might be NPCs in somebody else's video game
on this flat earth,
on this flat plate.
That shit true. That's you know the simulation theory is just. You're the big scientists. I think we're in a simulation. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like that's crazy.
Just as dumb as flat Earth.
And it's just as fucking bonkers, bro.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, so you mean to tell me there's a civilization so advanced that they've created an entire simulation?
For what? Why?
What's the benefit?
They're that bored.
We're like
They need to watch us get fucking colon cancer and
seriously,
fucking.
Bro. And see, that's what I
get our hearts broken and shit. They get their jollies off on watching us struggle fucking through life.
I don't even want to know those fuckers. I hope I never meet them if that's the case. And see, that's always been my conversation with people that are like, "Oh no, man, don't put that in your body. They're gonna track you." For what, Todd?
Bro, you're tracked.
For what? What are they tracking you? Like what?
Here.
My brother, you plugged in willingly. We gave him all the information. And listen, fuck it.
Yeah.
Who are you hiding from, brother? You going on the fucking run from the feds, my dude?
You ain't going nowhere, bro.
No, bro. Listen, there's nobody.
You're gonna have to get a John Travolta face off, and, you know.
You're gonna have to get like Zac Efron looks different now.
Burn all your fingers off.
Yeah, and that's a whole process.
I mean, if
bro.
you're gonna do that, you might as well just pull a Snowden and go to Russia or whatever.
Yeah, and I really don't think they're tracking Todd's Pornhub.
I know, right?
Advertisers are, you know.
That's about it.
Advertisers are.
Yeah, and I don't think they need to inject you with no advertising
This
tracker.
poor bastard.
You'll buy
zero
dumb
in
shit on
him
your
more.
own.
Yeah,
You'll buy all
bro.
the dumb shit on your own.
So, man, what got you? So, okay. When I came across your videos for the first time, brother, I didn't even realize that you were from Albuquerque for one, off the rip. I'll get that out the way right away. So it was like, I want to say it was like 2020, and you just randomly popped up on my YouTube page, and I'm like, damn, this is a whole like subgenre of what like the pimple popping thing is on YouTube, which all of us have ended up down that rabbit hole before, right?
Yeah.
So I can't even remember what video
When
it
they're
was,
squeezing
bro.
out the blackheads.
Yeah.
Like, get that motherfucker out of there.
Gross as
But
fuck.
I
Finish
remember
it.
you had someone completely turned over on their hip, and you fucking cracked the fuck out of it, bro. And I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then I went completely down the rabbit hole, and I was like, this is, I don't know why it's so. I couldn't look away. It's like there was a part of me that was like, I just gotta watch all these other
Yeah,
videos.
I
And
know.
for me, it was crazy because I was waiting for the pop. That's I found myself.
Yeah, people
like,
fast forward to it. And
I found myself like physically
so we put
waiting
like
for the
one
crack.
in the hook, and then we like make the other one like 3/4 of the way.
I was physically waiting
watch
for that.
time.
So what? Like obviously you've been doing, being a chiropractor for a long time. But what made you say, we need to fucking film this?
Dumb luck.
Really?
Yeah, dumb luck. Maybe like 2016 or 17. So I'm at Jackson's, obviously. And so some of the guys like from Europe and a couple of the fighters here, like a lot of them don't even like to get cracked. So we just do muscle work on them or whatever. But like a couple of the guys from Europe were doing it and they were like, yeah, film this or whatever. So we filmed it and boom, 600, 700,000 views on Instagram.
Damn.
Okay, do it with Diego. Oh, well, 900,000 views. It was just hitting the Explore page on Instagram like big time. And then I got banned from Instagram in 2018.
Instagram was hating on, what the fuck did you do to get banned?
It was during the Zuffa thing. So like a lot of us had posted highlights from the UFC fighters, and when they were selling it, they put copyright strikes on anybody.
Oh.
So we all got our accounts deleted if you had been posting
Because
like
you were copyright infringing on their copyright.
because they were selling the intellectual properties to what's the company, Ari Emanuel's company or whatever. So they banned our accounts. So like I'm like, well, fucking. I had a couple 100,000 on Instagram, and I'm a social media addict like anybody else. Like I gotta post some shit somewhere.
I mean that's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Like
That's a lot.
How much did you have before you started the videos?
Like maybe 180, 200,000, something like that.
Bro, that's fucking and they pulled your account from you.
Because we were posting like rehab videos before, like how to foam roll, how to lacrosse ball, and then
More
like,
educational.
Yeah, that was the niche in like 2013, 14. And then just like posting like little skits with the fighters or, them shouting us out for taking care of them during camp. And then their big accounts would make our account grow because people would go follow me after like Holly or John or Diego or Carlos would post me. So then I took those same clips and my YouTube account was the same thing. It was just rehab videos for my patients. Like 800 subscribers or something. So then I took those vertical videos from Instagram and I just uploaded it on YouTube. Same thing, boom, 1 million views, 3 million views. I'm like, what the shit is this?
It's crazy.
So I just good timing. I was one of like the first 4 or 5 like chiropractors that were posting that kind of stuff. And I had like a crossover audience because you had like UFC fighters. So you had subgenre UFC, subgenre Chiro ASMR, which allowed me to bump up even higher.
That's crazy.
So then we're like, what works, what doesn't? So we've just been riding the algorithm wave the whole way. So, now we have 1.6 million subs on YouTube.
That's
and
so fucking crazy.
2 million on Facebook and like 700,000 on TikTok. And
that's totally insane, bro.
now Instagram's like my smallest account, like 390. Or
See what y'all get Instagram? That's fucking.
Yeah.
See what y'all did? You kicked him off, and now he's taking his traffic elsewhere. Y'all fucked up,
bro. And the lengths we had to go through to get the Instagram account back. So shout out John Jones. Like he and the UFC ended up getting me in contact with the president of Instagram. So we had to go through all these fucking
all the channels. Just
man,
to
if
get
I
it
didn't
back.
have the connects I had, like no chance. Like a couple of my friends got them banned and they never got their account back.
Yeah,
So,
most
like,
people. Well, and see, and nowadays most people get kicked off of Instagram because they're posting like some illegal shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, to get banned for, and you were kind of like tied into that.
And they were like
genre,
my fighters in a way, right? Like.
Yeah.
It would be like a Cub Swanson knockout video or something, or like promoting their fighter, you know, getting him views and clicks. But you know, it's all algorithms. So it wasn't like maybe some intern was going around and just flagging people's accounts and shit, you know.
Well, at least now though, now you're able to use all the algorithms against each other.
Yeah.
Because now they're all fighting for traffic.
Right.
Now it's everybody, and YouTube's just been coming out fucking swinging. They're the big dogs.
Now nobody's paying anybody anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
they learned from TikTok. You don't got to pay your creators.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Talking about that, I just got YouTube just hit me now talking about that,
Shorts?
and now they're starting to pay for shorts.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to start in January, and it'll probably be TikTok level money.
Yeah, which is nothing.
Nothing.
I'm already getting fucked up from Spotify and my music, so that's why people always ask me if I joined the TikTok Creator Fund. And honestly, bro,
you didn't?
I made the decision. So the way I looked at this, and I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a fucking guru. So I looked at it like, okay, if I join the Creator Fund, which gives me pennies on the dollar,
right?
They're gonna
less than that.
They're gonna pull my reach, brother. I know it. I could be wrong, but I feel like they're gonna say, nah, you don't.
We don't want to pay you that much.
We don't need to hit 200K, 300K views, right? So for me, I'm like, give me the reach, and I'll figure out how to monetize.
I'm in the fund, so about 100 million views pays about $3 grand.
Yeah, see, that's fucking insane, bro.
Yeah,
that's not even my monthly bills.
Yeah, that's nothing. So people are just shaking their assholes for nothing on TikTok.
And you can't even
choreographing.
And you can't even shake your asshole on Facebook. So that's the only place that you're going to be able to get that kind of.
Yeah, so I get about $3 per 1,000 views on Facebook and about $7 to $10 per 1,000 views on YouTube.
I'm glad you said that because people are blind to what that actually means.
Yeah,
and you're not guaranteed, bro.
No.
Like. The algorithm's changing so drastically all the time that you can do something tomorrow that completely flat.
And the monetization could be different too.
Exactly. It's constantly changing.
So if I have a girl in it, right, and I get 1 million views, I'll probably get $3 grand. If I have a dude in it, it's going to give me 8, 9 grand if I get 1 million views.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
Because the algorithm will decide that it's not advertiser-friendly content. And so some of the advertisers don't want to be in something they think is... And I swear to God, it can recognize the shape of the girls' bodies. Like, if I have like a big juiced up person that isn't like curvy at all, money's good. If they're curvy or whatever, like it can like tell, like the algorithm could like tell what people are.
You're on the wrong site, my guy.
Yeah, it's a trip, bro. I'm like, how could they're wearing the same clothes? Like,
yeah, that's so fucking crazy.
But it like knows which one is like,
that's crazy.
You know, more attractive.
I don't doubt it though. I don't doubt it.
Yeah, it's a trip. But yeah, so the shorts is going to look like TikTok money, I'm sure. So
I would assume, bro. But see, that's the thing, though. I feel like
YouTube realized that they thought that if they paid their creators well, they would keep their creators there. And TikTok has turned that on its head.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I guess we don't have to pay our creators.
Yep.
People are doing it for free on TikTok. Why don't we just do it here?
Why don't we do it over here, too?
Same with Facebook. Facebook's doing Reels now instead of their long-form videos. So now all the videos there are crashing.
They really are.
So
and now
the long-form is not getting fed anywhere.
They're forcing you now to, like, upload Reels onto Facebook. Because what I was doing is I was just repurposing my TikToks and I'd throw them on my Facebook page, right?
Right.
And they would
just take the mark off or whatever.
But now, though...
It can recognize that it's somewhere
they
else
ain't
on
fucking dumb, bro. They ain't dumb. Now, if like the views will go down, but if you import it through their Reels section, then they boost it,
right?
Which it makes sense. I mean, they want you to stay on their platform.
Sure.
I get it. And I tell everybody when they ask me that question, I'm like, bro, just play the fucking game, bro. Collect the analytics, get your people that support you, get their emails, get their information, get everything that you need to utilize and keep them no matter what happens, because you never know.
Right.
They could say, listen, you're done. You're also on a third party app. Right?
They own everything.
They own it all. So I feel like the safest out of all of those platforms, I really feel though, especially now moving forward with them, letting you monetize cannabis conversation and stuff like that, is YouTube. Yeah. YouTube's the biggest, bro. I feel it's the safest.
Yeah.
Unless you're out there wilding the fuck out, bro. You gotta be doing some shit to get banned on YouTube.
Yeah.
Some shit.
Who got banned on YouTube? Alex Jones.
Yeah, and then old boy that what's his name? His
he was
the
$1 trillion. You see that shit,
bro? Where the fuck are you gonna get the money from? I reacted the same way. Where the fuck is he gonna pay this debt off? Dr. Evil.
Like, what the fuck?
How's he ever gonna pay that off, bro?
He's not obviously.
What's he worth?
Bankrupt.
He couldn't be worth more than what? 30 million?
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way he's worth more than that. Alex Jones. Yeah. Jesh, what's Alex Jones worth?
Nobody
Not
knows.
30 million, right? Not a bajillion, cajillion.
No. Can't be.
No way.
Yeah, what, selling janky supplements?
He fucked up.
So him and the other Paul brother, he was the other one that got kicked off too, right? Not Jake, but Logan.
No, he's not kicked. He caused the apocalypse.
But didn't he though? But didn't he get kicked off for a while because of that video he filmed?
No, he caused the apocalypse though.
Yeah,
with the suicide forest thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me, the unaliving forest.
Yeah,
we can't say that.
Oh
word.
yeah, you have to say unalive now. Yeah, the algorithm, brother. You know, see, he's in it. He knows. Yeah, if you use that S word, or another one that's bad is the ever fucking destroy your algorithm is link in my bio. Do not ever put that ever. Ever. No.
Yeah. And if you're on like Instagram, don't link. The only thing you can link to outside of it is Facebook.
Yes.
It's the same company.
Anything else, they'll say, fuck you, my guy.
100%.
Get out of here. We don't want you here.
I've even tried to like put like link in like the president and like bio, like the software downtown. Like link in bio, you know?
That you're like, damn, I usually get this amount of views, and now where's
100%.
everybody at? They got rid of them.
If you say video is up or video, like it'll recognize all that text. Bro.
Yeah, you gotta be slick with it, bro. You know what I like that they implemented is the collaborator video to be able to like
on Instagram
to be able to collaborate because it's dope.
You can drive traffic to other people's pages and
you get to both see the analytics.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be like, I'll send you the video, I'll post it, you post it, let's see who does it.
Yeah, who knows?
It's just wasting. Where if it's it's one direction, and then the other, both of you guys get to see the analytics.
Right.
So when you're trying to monetize,
although Instagram fucking turned off my goddamn reels.
Did they? Yeah, and that's fucked up. For what?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
You just can't.
I didn't get an email. It just said ineligible. When I click on it, it says there's a problem or a loading problem or an error.
Hater. That's because they see you're killing it on YouTube.
And that money was actually pretty decent. Like I was making more on Instagram than TikTok for way less views. I was getting like $700-800 a month just posting the same videos.
It's because they were trying to. They're all fighting with each other. That's why, bro.
Man,
it's like an abusive relationship.
I was like, cool. This is the electric bill. This is the this is my car payment. Cool, no problem. I already had the content.
I mean,
I'm a little sad about that, Instagram.
Yeah, come on, Instagram.
They're always
step your game
with
up.
me.
Come on.
I'm gonna post more crab videos.
For real, come on. Or YouTube needs to step up their
The crab wars
payment.
are gonna come back. You guys don't know about the crab wars.
No.
You were posting crab videos? That's why they kicked you off.
So there's a video I posted where a crab like runs off and falls into a pit with oil. And it died, and they fucking deleted the video for graphic violence.
Graphic violence, bro.
So then I posted like 30 videos in a row of crabs. My audience is like, the crab wars are on.
That's so funny, dog. That crabs falling into.
I'm not petty or anything.
I mean, not even, not kind of. So
I'm shocked I got banned from Instagram. Totally shocked.
Once you popped off, did you have like celebrities reaching out to you?
Yeah, tons.
That's fucking insane.
But like on Instagram is where most celebrities reach out to me. So between the fighters posting me, because everybody watches fights, like every athlete, and then getting verified. Like after that happened, like I was constantly getting like DMs from like big names. Oh, yo, let's work together. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me film it, and I'll come out there. And so we go out, shoot a video. And I get to keep it for my YouTube, repurpose it for Facebook. So, so it just kind of rolled downhill for me in that way.
So who's your favorite celeb so far? Stand out.
Favorite celeb. Probably Dale from Detroit Urban Survival Training.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah. Or the Island Boys, maybe.
Oh, so both of those motherfuckers or just one of them?
What?
You had both of them on?
I had both of them.
I didn't see that one. That's fucking crazy.
You gotta go look it up.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Yeah.
I'm an island boy.
They like flew up to the top.
About to get my back cracked.
Did they ever even record that song? Did it ever even come out, or was it just on TikTok?
Didn't they say they were gonna do a song with NBA YoungBoy?
That's what I heard. Nothing ever happened though.
I don't know. They still have big followings.
They do, but they were massive though.
Yeah.
That shit, and it was. I'm telling you, I don't think they ever recorded it. Jay, you need to reach out and record the fucking song, my guy.
Might have to.
It's funny. Every year there's like 3 or 4 people. There was like No Neck Ed, and then the 2021 was like Detroit Urban Survival Training and Island Boys, and then this year it's like Hasbullah and like Tate and
that are popping on the internet.
Yeah. Who else is big this year that's like that?
Kanye. I mean, he's in the same. Yeah,
Kyrie.
Yeah, they're in the same for sure. But
people that weren't, nobody knew who they were, and then all of a sudden they were on everybody's page. You know what I mean?
Out of nowhere.
Like OBJ was doing the survival training in a game.
That shit went
celebration
crazy out of nowhere, bro. He was one day he was on one video, and then everybody was doing.
That he was doing stuff with Snoop, and
then TikTok took it, and it showed like they were trying to like utilize it how they would do it, and they ended up in heaven.
Yeah. Then he was in on the joke,
and he was on the joke too.
Like
bro.
he was down to make fun of himself, and
so if you have a favorite, you got a worst.
So I got a worst.
You got a horror story, celeb?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to talk about it. We'll talk about it off air.
When we turn the cameras off, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That's a trip, bro. Like to see, because I'm not even playing. I want to say it was like 2020, bro, and it just popped up out of nowhere. And it was the vertical video. It was before Reels started cracking on too. And then it led me down that there was another, I want to say, probably like one more. And it was like a dude from Houston. But then I realized that you were from here, dog. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's your Houston chiropractor, Dr. Gregory Johnson.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Still kicking.
Yep.
He's the OG. Shout out to Doc. That's my boy, Dr. J.
That's so dope, bro.
He gave me one of his tables.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the first chiro to ever blow up anywhere. Like he was 2013, 14. He created the genre, really.
That's so cool, bro.
Yeah.
That because the algorithm points you that direction. Once I clicked on your video, it was a fucking slippery slope.
But just like any TV show, our day is kind of done when it comes to that. At least on like those platforms, like TikTok just finished blowing up. We went to Facebook and went wild there for a while. But, you know, once you've seen all the episodes, it's kind of like, all right, you know, I've seen this. So
yeah, so you got to kind of like throw some new.
So what I've done is I've made it more into like a podcast. It's like an interview while we're doing that. So it's kind of like Hot Ones now. So
the way you're talking to them while you're working, and they're like, oh shit, like they're like caught off guard when you pop in them or whatever.
And they're like super honest and like vulnerable for the conversation. So that's the only way we figured that we could keep this channel relevant once people have been like, oh, there's only so many ways you could crack somebody or whatever.
Yep.
So like, cool, we rode that wave. We rode the Cairo wave while it was there, and we know it's gone now. Like all the other channels have KO'd for the most part. Like they can't even get 10,000 views on a video anymore.
But at least you've established now a base and a foundation that you're able to like find. Because I think that's a good idea, because once you find something that like is something people want to stay tuned into.
It's hard, man. Like it's hard to, when you have a niche, like even in music, like, you know, is 50 Cent going to make rap albums anymore? It's like, nah, man, your day is not there for that anymore. Like
not very many people can live there for very, very long.
In anything.
You gotta keep moving around. It's very rare.
But he's still a celebrity. He could do, you know, he could troll people. He could sell vitamin, whatever, you know. So
and
if he could do something else.
He used his base that he already built to keep building and moving forward. And you got to keep doing that.
Even Ye, like his music is not relevant anymore. He tries, and it's just, you know.
But it's not what it was.
And you're saying even like somebody that, I think Drake has had the longest rap life I've ever seen.
At that level.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah.
Him and Lil Wayne. I would say too.
Like people would, you know, in the 90s and 80s and stuff, you'd come for 1 or 2 albums. I mean, there were a lot of artists where it was like, I don't know if it was their greatest hits or what, but like there's groups like Nappy Roots, right? They had a great first album.
Yep.
Nothing after that.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Damn, that's giving me fucking
Exhibit. Like his, like the Restless album, the whole thing was just fire, you know, production from Dre, second, and then it was over, right? Like all those Houston rappers had one album, you know?
And see, I think it's interesting with hip hop, bro. Is we're seeing now though. I'm glad you brought that up, because I just got finished listening to the new Nas album, and it's fucking fire,
right?
Bro. So I feel like there's a way to do it,
but it's not going to be commercially successful in that way.
No, you have to accept the fact that like. I'm glad you said relevant, because 21 Savage just today said that. He's like, he makes really good music. He's got a solid fan base, but he's not relevant, right?
It's not Stillmatic. It's not Omatic.
A lot of people were salty as fuck in the comments, right? And justifully like so, because of what he
Nas
said
is
was
1,000 times the rapper that he'll ever be.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But he's also not wrong.
But what he was saying is commercially, bro, he's not at that like on fire crazy level.
Right.
Not very many.
That's not what young kids want to listen to.
Not very many people can keep that fucking level for that many years.
So
bro.
what people don't want to understand is who drives the culture is teenage girls. So whatever they're listening to is what drives albums. That's what moves units.
Yep.
No matter what it is.
Tupac said that years ago.
Yeah. You know. So if, you know, it's still Taylor Swift apparently, and that kind of stuff.
She might not be going away, man.
Man, she might be the biggest thing that ever existed. Like we're talking 12, 13 years, just juggernaut. Like holy shit.
That's right though. I mean, and it's true, bro. Like you catch that wave.
And think about like if you're in 8th grade and by the time you're in college, what your preferences have changed and you move on in your life. Like now you're busy with your life. You're not over there like waiting for albums to drop.
Imagine if you were still listening to the same shit you were listening to in the 8th grade.
So like older people, if you're not in music, older people aren't looking for new music.
No, they're just stuck in the stuff and see, me and my son have this conversation all the time, because I'm different because I'm in music, so I'm constantly listening to new music. I'm constantly on it, so I know what's new, what's not. Most people aren't like that.
No.
They find what they like, they keep it, and they go with it.
They generally say after you're about 30, you're not looking for new music anymore. You've decided that my era was the best, and that's what I'm going to listen to. We're listening to, what is it, 95.6 or whatever the shit?
Yeah, that's...
What's the station that's always on at the gym? It's like, your 90s hip-hop and R&B.
That is the one that's always on at the gym, bro. And I think that's a double-edged sword, bro, especially if you're in music or creative in general.
Yeah,
if you
in
block
anything,
out...
whether it's YouTuber, even the big YouTubers don't make YouTube content anymore. Jake Paul, Logan Paul don't make YouTube videos, you know?
No.
PewDiePie barely makes YouTube videos anymore, and he doesn't get nothing like the reach he used to.
Mr. Beast, he's one of the ones that...
He's the only one that's still just crushing, just constantly. Yeah. And he just spends so much fucking money and comes with these ideas. But anybody else is like, you're the cake person, right? You make realistic cakes. Well, how many can you do? When are people going to be bored with it?
Yep, eventually. They will be, no matter what.
Just like any TV show. When you hit your 4th, 5th season, it's like...
Listen, my brother, I got one more episode left of The Walking Dead. Oh. I stuck around.
Yeah?
I have...
Man, first 2 seasons were so good. You know, when Negan shows up and they
pops Glenn's eyeball out of his head.
You know, at some point the novelty of the walkers is kind of gone, and it's like, oh yeah, they're slow as shit and they don't do nothing anymore. Now it's just a soap opera.
It's so bad. I don't even know where to start here. But I'm still here.
And they're still doing it?
I've gone too far, my brother.
They're still producing
Listen,
it?
there's one episode left.
Man.
One more left, bro. But then it's like the beginning is actually, or the end is actually the new beginning.
Here we go.
Yeah. They're gonna split
the money's
them off.
there. So.
They're splitting the characters off and they're creating sub shows.
Only a few shows end when they're supposed to, right? Like they go off on a good note. Maybe Sopranos, Breaking Bad.
Yep. And see, The Sopranos, one of my favorite of all time, right? And it took me a while to appreciate the ending of The Sopranos. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. At first, I was fucking salty. I actually called DirecTV. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It's fucking black. I lost fucking signal. I was pissed. And it took me a while. It took me as a fan, a hurt fan.
Yeah.
How
about the Game of Thrones, though?
Bro, that was just, they went out just total shit. They just didn't give a fuck.
All that buildup.
For nothing. It was so anticlimactic.
The little fucking girl kills the Ice King. It was so just fucking burn him.
It was the worst. Bro, they're building up. They're building up. Yeah, well, spoiler alert, Jake. Hey, don't worry, you didn't fucking miss shit.
You didn't miss shit.
I didn't get it.
It was, bro, they built it up so perfect, dog. It was like, oh, this last season's gonna be fucking epic. Then the final fight scene was so dark, you couldn't even fucking see what was happening, bro.
That's Disney Plus too, by the way. You guys watch that shit?
Bro, they need to.
Why is it so dark?
No clue.
I can't see anything.
No clue. Have you seen the new one, House of Dragon?
No.
Bro, it's pretty good.
It's good? Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, I was skeptic. I'm like, these fuckers are just coming in for a cash grab. It's pretty good, man. They do a little too much jumping around, bro, but we'll see. Sopranos, like, it took these years, bro, for me to, like, I watched it a few times. I broke it down. I sat with people that do movies. They're like, no, you got to understand, like, it's his perspective, her perspective. It's like, oh, I see. It's an open-ended, you know, choose your ending type of style. But I feel like out of those two shows, Breaking Bad ended better.
Yeah, I think so, too. You know what's the best show? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good, bro. It hasn't lost anything.
They're doing another season. One more.
Again?
One more.
How many seasons is that?
Funny, bro.
Fucking like 12?
It's 20-something years.
That's a lot, bro.
The last season was so funny, bro.
Yeah, one of the last episodes I seen was when, I forget that guy's name, bro, but everybody keeps thinking that he's... Winehouse?
Yes, that's 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
like, why are you with him? I'm not Weinstein.
That shit is so funny.
And he gets the hat.
Dog,
so people will leave him alone.
Bro,
who'd have thought that would outlive Seinfeld? Who'd have thought that would be on longer than Seinfeld? Yeah. It has everything that made Seinfeld funny, but better. For sure. Yeah.
It's more R-rated. The stories are longer.
Yeah.
And then it's sequential. I know Rick and Morty is always joking about that, but like, you give me a full season. That whole season, the one you're talking about with the Mocha Joe, that shit was hilarious. Everything led into the next thing. They got the Spite store. You know, fucking rich people problems. You're like, I'm just going to open a store.
That's what makes the character development, though, like, pop off. I think that's why The Office for me was fucking hilarious,
yeah,
too.
The Office is good stuff.
Because all the characters led into, like, even I was still salty when fucking Michael Scott left. Like, it took a little bit of a dip, right? A little bit, not too crazy.
I declare bankruptcy.
Bro. And then...
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works, man. The way he hated fucking Toby, bro, some of the best fucking moments, bro. He's like,
it's a nice name.
He tells him, why are you like this? He's He's like, why anytime that I want to do something fun, you just come in and fucking ruin it? I still need to give you my Office box set because you're still behind, Jay.
I'm waiting,
Man,
bro.
you're way behind on all this stuff,
way
huh?
behind, bro.
Whenever,
So what are you listening to music-wise these days?
Music-wise these days, bro, I listen to fucking everything. That new Drake and 21 Savage album was super, super dope. I fucked with it tough. There was a lot of people hating on Drake because he was kind of all over the place, hating on a lot of people, swinging his shot, but he's fucking Drake, man. He can do whatever the fuck he wants right now, bro.
Facts.
So I liked it better than Drake's last album, his last effort he put out. Nas just dropped, which is so fucking fire, bro. He killed it, dog.
Even the first two though, the Kings.
Oh, the Kings Disease were both fire.
Yeah, we were telling Jess.
I
that
listened,
shit's dope.
but I mean, not even, bro. I listen to everything, dog. If you looked at my like playlist, you'd be like, what the fuck? I listen to country. I listen to fucking. The only thing I don't really listen to, and I'm not gonna lie,
Ranchero.
I listen to ranchero music too, brother. Jazz, bro.
Jazz,
I can't really fuck with jazz, man.
Really? I'm not a huge fan either, actually.
It's just
Okay.
all over
Like,
the fucking
like
place, brother.
smooth
Pick
jazz,
a place.
Some of it, yeah, smooth jazz, yeah. But then there's some
Like the
jazz
real
that's-
artsy shit and like.
Pick a place to live, my guy. I got enough stress in my life. I don't need to fucking.
That's how I feel about dubstep, bro.
Dubstep?
It's like I can handle it a little bit, but it just goes so. fucking
That's been
off the
been
wall.
dead for so long.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But like jazz, I don't know. I fuck with jazz.
When did Skrillex pop? Like 2011?
Oh yeah, you mean Corey Feldman?
Yeah.
They fucking look exactly. They were separated at birth, bro.
Bro.
That's funny.
Wow.
You know what? Talking about that, bro. This is the most random shit. I never thought I was gonna bring this up on a podcast. The other day, I was going through fucking the algorithm, plugged into the Matrix, and all of a sudden, this fucking video pops up out of nowhere, has millions of views, and I read the caption. It's like, this is the most random thing that's ever happened in my life, and it was at a pumpkin patch, hayride type of situation, and there's this band, and there's like 100 people there, right? And she starts walking in closer, and it's fucking Corey Feldman singing the song from Lost Boys. You know that?
Bro.
Thou shalt not. You know that song?
Yeah.
He's up there with a full fucking band, bro. In
That's
like
random.
fucking Milwaukee or some shit like that at a pumpkin patch, bro. Performing his fucking heart out, bro.
Those are always weird scenarios.
Can you imagine?
We were at Taos with Will. He was doing something with the tourism people, and we're at this hotel. And I go down to the lobby to get a water. Billy Corgan is down there from Smashing Pumpkins,
What?
fucking singing and fucking playing the guitar. And I'm like, what the fuck? Fucking grabbed a beer, and I was like, all right, here we go.
I guess we're here now.
We're smashing pumpkins.
That shit happened to me. It's funny. It was the first time that I took like a fucking gram dab with Jesh. I'll never forget this moment. I even called him after, bro, because I hit a gram dab and I'm like, brother,
Like this one?
I'm gone. Yeah, like, but it was a gram. It was a full gram, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was like,
yeah, that's algorithm safe, right?
Okay.
there. So I hit that shit. I instantly looked at Jesh. I was like, yep, meeting's over. I'll see you later, brother. I'm out of here. I was fucking freaking out, bro. I was having a fucking panic attack. I was higher than the fucking stars. I get in my cars before I got my truck, so I was as an Impala, right? So Jesh lived up on fucking Montgomery and like fucking tramways, way the fuck up there. So I'm in the middle lane and I'm driving and I'm freaking the fuck out, bro, having full blown fucking panic attack. And I look to my side and there's a fucking white Chevy right next to me. I look to my other side and there's another white Chevy next to me. Doesn't matter how fast I go, how slow I go, these motherfuckers I can't escape these motherfuckers, right?
Mr. Anderson.
So I haul ass, bro. I fly down Montgomery, bro. And I get to Montgomery and San Mateo and I go to that Walgreens that's right there, right? I'm freaking out, bro. Higher than hell, super panic attack. I walk into Walgreens. And I should have noticed the parking lot was fucking packed. I literally walk into Walgreens, the doors open, and fucking Roy Jones Jr. is standing there signing autographs. Here, bro. There's a fucking line.
Walgreens?
There's a line wrapped around Walgreens on Montgomery and San Mateo, bro. I swear to God, everybody and Roy Jones Jr. look me dead in the fucking eyes. Bro, I'm like, oh my God, bro, what the fuck is going on? I fucking dipped, bro. I go to the back, I go to buy a water, bro. I walk up to the front desk and I'm like, bro, what the fuck's going on, man? He's like,
y'all must have forgot.
yeah, he's all, no, it's just, a meet and greet. I'm like, a fucking meet and greet.
Walgreens,
a Walgreens Roy Jones Jr. meet and greet? Bro, I'm way too high for this shit, bro. I called Jess, I was like, bro, what the fuck was in that shit, man?
How long ago was that?
And he was like, hey, can't be moved, can't be
It was
stopped.
like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, huh? I called him. I was like, bro, what the fuck was in that shit, man? I just had an out-of-body experience with Roy Jones Jr. at Walgreens, bro. It was fucking crazy.
That's funny. You ever see the video where he had me chasing chickens?
No,
That's pretty good.
what the fuck?
He has you know, he cockfights. Not like, you know.
Oh, not that kind.
Yeah.
That's an OnlyFans video.
I like that, but
Could you imagine? I mean, that's a whole different podcast.
yeah. So you know, he even says he's like, my fight style was after a rooster. You know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's got roosters all over his fucking property, and he's like, all right, you remember you see that Rocky movie? You know, he chased the chicken. I want you to go catch that thing right now. Here we go.
And it's he got footage of you.
Yeah. We posted it,
Bro, that's so funny. I remember Roy.
Is that when there's me adjusting Holyfield's ear? You know?
Did you see him and Mike Tyson just announced that they're coming out with ear-shaped edibles? They partnered up yesterday, bro. They just made the announcement yesterday. That's so crazy you brought that up.
Very eerie.
Yeah, they're doing ear-shaped edibles. I like that.
You hear me?
You got to hit the applause for that one, Jay. That's that was a good one, bro. I remember. I'll never forget. I don't even know who he was. I say I'll never forget, but I don't know who he was fighting because I guess it didn't matter at the time.
Yeah.
When Roy Jones knocked that dude out with a body punch to the liver or the kidneys.
Adrian Stone, maybe?
Dropped him. I had never seen nothing like that before in my life.
Broke his ribs.
Fucking put him
Yeah,
on.
he broke his ribs. Really.
There was a body.
There was the one where he had his hands behind his back and he was like, and it just bop. Dude just
boom. He was a fucking beast.
And then there was the one where he gave the dude exorcism, where he knocks him out and he rolls over and his eyes are fucking, Roy Jones in his prime is the greatest boxer of all time.
He was a fucking animal, bro.
Yeah.
He really was. I think people forget, bro, how nasty
because he took some losses at the end, you know. So, but in his prime, like just hands down speed. You know, when he beat James Toney, and
power, the speed.
Yeah, when he moved up and fought Ruiz,
bro,
that was crazy, man.
Yeah,
the speed. And he was supposed to fight Tyson, but when he cut back down, you know, he was already a little older, a little slower. And then he beat Tarver, and then they wanted a rematch. And then after he got caught by Tarver, that was kind of it.
Yeah.
But in the 90s, bro, like, oh, my God. Like, there was nothing. The speed, the power, the swagger.
Especially after Tyson took his sabbatical.
Yeah.
When he was away for a while.
I mean, he had, like, Ken Griffey, Roy Jones Jr., like.
Yeah.
I mean, LL Cool J said it, right?
Exactly. That's when boxing.
Swinging with Ken Griffey or challenging Roy to a fight.
Brother, that's when boxing was, like, the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view was.
Yeah.
I'll never, like.
The 90s.
I still hold, like, I used to watch that with my dad, bro.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Like, before we even had money to get HBO and shit. Yeah, bro. It was like.
Holyfield,
So
Lennox
what do you
Lewis.
I'm glad you brought that up, bro. Talking about that, how do you feel about Jake Paul sliding into this situation? Like, how do you feel about that whole scenario, bro? Of what it's done?
A whole bunch of different ways, right? Like, I mean, the dude is polarizing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't like him, obviously. He's obviously cherry-picking old retired boxers, you know, in big gloves where you can't really get shots in. And listen, the kid's a pretty good boxer.
Yeah. I mean, he really isn't bad, bro.
He's a pretty good boxer. He's got a lot of power in his right. His footwork's a little sloppy still. Like, I think I would still favor Tommy Fury over him if they actually boxed. You know, but you keep picking 40-year-old MMA fighters like Tyron Woodley. So a lot of power in his right hand. Never had a left hand at all. But what made him dangerous as an MMA fighter was the threat of the takedown, the explosiveness. So that would lead people into his right hand. It was like Johnny Hendricks was the same way with his left hand. You have an All-American wrestler that has we called them the wrestle boxers. They had big power in the hand, and then they could take you down. When you take away that threat, that singular punch isn't as scary. You step inside of it.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Right, and then you take Anderson Silva, like, okay, yeah, he won a couple boxing matches, but the dude's still 48, and if you look at how he went out in MMA, I think he lost 5 of his last 6. And the only win was the Nick Diaz fight that he tested positive for.
48? I didn't realize he was fucking 48.
Yeah. 47, 48. And he still like fought pretty good, all things considered.
But in boxing world, that's 155.
Right. Right.
Like, that's a lot to take. That's a huge career.
Because MMA guys' careers start later and end later. With the wrestling in particular, it allows you to elongate because you're not so reflex-oriented. You know, in boxing, once your speed or your reflex go, unless you're, you know, the most fundamental boxer in the world, like Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd, yeah.
Right? You can't really extend towards 40. That's what happened to Roy.
Yeah.
You know, somebody who was the fastest, you know, fast twitch guy in the world that could counterpunch you and move his head out of the way. As soon as you slow down just a little bit, you're getting caught now.
Yeah. Because it's a game of timing.
Where James Toney or like Floyd Mayweather, their defense is so meticulous that they're just not taking shots.
Yeah.
I mean, you see even with like Pacquiao getting knocked out by Manuel Marquez and, you know, some of the guys that were so much faster and more explosive. Once that goes, it's a wrap. And that's what boxing is really like.
Yeah. And there's only so many fucking like
shots you can take too, right?
There's only so many you can take.
That's what you were about with Stylebender too. Like once you get knocked out, like it's a different it's a different thing. Your body doesn't react the same way anymore.
Yeah. Especially if you've been knocked out multiple fucking times.
Yeah. Aside from the mentality of knowing you're going against a guy that's gotten you twice, like that's a tough hill to climb. I mean, if anybody could do it, it's him. But like,
at first when he started, because I hold such like nostalgia to watching boxing with my dad.
Yeah.
When I seen it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?
The Jake Paul?
Dude, this is ridiculous."
Yeah. I think all of us felt that way, right?
That was my first initial reaction, and then we were at the barbershop when we were arguing about this, and someone kind of switched my perspective. They're like, "Listen, bro, think of it like this. He's bringing attention to a sport that these younger kids need to pay attention to. He's bringing it back to boxing." And I was like, okay. I told him, all right, I'll give you that.
I disagree.
I told him I'll give you a little bit of that.
The plus is him paying these fighters that didn't get paid enough by Dana. That's to me the only
great
plus.
Yeah.
Like people aren't. I mean, that didn't sell shit. It didn't even sell 300,000 pay-per-views.
Remember when
the Jake Paul Anderson?
It really didn't.
And the second Tyrone, I don't think sold 200,000.
Well, there's so many ways to pirate it now, bro. I think pay-per-view is one of those things that are dead too.
I don't think people were really paying attention, honestly.
Yeah, maybe not.
Like I didn't feel that kind of hype around the fight. Just when there's a big fight, you can feel it in the air.
Like when Floyd and
the Floyd Conor
fought. That was massive. Yeah, it was huge.
Biggest event probably ever in sports.
Yeah, it was huge.
And Floyd just carried him for 8 rounds and made it seem like, oh yeah, he's hitting me.
Let's keep it going.
Dude, what is Floyd even doing? He just fought, was it Daisy or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck he's doing, bro.
I was gonna say, how many more fights does he?
I don't know, man, but he's broke.
Because his record's out of hand, bro.
But bro,
these aren't professional fights. They don't count.
Yeah, they don't count anymore. But bro, you can't hit that fucking dude, bro. Bro.
I mean, he fought Logan Paul.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's fucking payday.
Hey, I mean, Floyd, he's money made for a reason.
I don't know if there's gonna be another one as big as Conor and
I can't see
Mayweather.
it.
Who else is in the pipeline?
So people were trying to say if Francis would have knocked out Gane and then fought Tyson Fury, but I still don't think so. It might have sold 1 million, but it wasn't going to do
not
4 or 5.
Those crazy pay-per-view paydays. Those might be done, bro. That might be that bubble might have popped.
So So Jake has this going for him a little bit, but the thing that makes people really tune in is when you believe that fighter could do anything. So with Conor, it was like, here he comes, like he's gonna face a wrestler, and then he beat Chad Mendes. You're like, shit, maybe he could do it. And then, he's running into Aldo, and then he smokes Aldo, and then like, but he's gonna go up and wait, and then he dusts Alvarez. So you're like, damn, maybe this guy could do anything.
Yeah.
So that thought process is what really made people tune in, because you're like, maybe he could do it. Maybe all the MMA fans are like, maybe he could beat Floyd. I'm like, bro, y'all are out of your minds.
No
you're on drugs.
Yeah, I knew he couldn't do. Yeah,
way.
That's literally like saying Floyd's gonna come over and beat him in MMA.
There's no way he would have fucked him up.
What do you mean,
bro.
my guy? What are you talking about?
Yeah, he would have wiped the floor with him. It would have been. Honestly, it would have been a worse beating than what Floyd gave him in the boxing ring.
With leg kicks and
it would have been fucking horrible, bro.
And don't get me. There are occasions, right? Do you remember what's his name? James Toney? No, not James Toney. Who was the guy who beat Tim Sylvia? He knocked Tim Sylvia out. It was a boxer. Tim Sylvia was UFC champion in MMA, and he was boxing. Was it Razor Ruddock? No. It's blanking me. It wasn't James Toney. James Toney fought Randy Couture, and that didn't go good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Randy Couture dusted him in MMA, like you would expect, right? He's going to take him down and smoke him.
I mean, that's where you're at. That's your and I think, obviously, MMA is way more. There's just so many more variants to it, right? Boxing is technical as fuck.
Yeah,
super
technical.
I think people just look at it and they think, it's just throwing hands. It's like, no, bro. Like it's positioning, it's timing, it's footwork. I think people completely forget the footwork that it takes.
Their footwork is insane
because
the angles of their hooks and
it's almost like it goes against the way your body wants to move. To actually, if you're not trained, like you would punch a certain way,
right?
Whereas that's completely
But if
wrong.
I throw a hook like this, your left straight's catching me inside and I'm done.
Exactly. So
in MMA, I might be able to loop that around your gloves. Plus, you're thinking about me kicking you or taking you down.
It's a whole different animal.
Completely different.
It's a whole different animal.
So yeah, they strike, but
Yeah, and I think that's why the shift was made. Like you had people.
It would be like if you took a bodybuilder and he's going to win a powerlifting competition. No, he's not.
Yeah, no.
Just like the powerlifter's going to win the bodybuilding show. What the fuck do you mean?
Two different.
Yeah, they both lift weights. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They're different. Yeah. They're different beasts for sure. And I think
the fact that they were able to convince people that this might be a thing tells you,
great marketing.
Millions of dollars.
They fucking made millions.
And they're still doing it to this day because they underestimate Jake Paul's boxing so much that they think these old MMA fighters are going to win.
Yeah. And it plays to people that don't know. Like, if you don't really know, you're just like a surface level fan to see it. You're like, oh, I want to see this.
And he's trying to be the bad guy to where he's like, people will tune in to try to see me get knocked out.
Yeah.
And some will, you know.
I mean, eventually they're gonna have to play that card, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna have to eventually get dropped, right?
He's been building it perfectly, honestly.
Yeah, that's the end. That's the end story, right?
You fought Ben Askren, who's the worst striker in MMA, and then you fought Woodley, who's a one-dimensional striker, but he was a UFC champion and had knocked dudes out. And then you fought Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
He's 48, but you know the guy had crazy hands, and he beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in boxing.
Next is homie that they canceled, right? He's fighting Tate.
Fury?
No, isn't he fighting Tate?
Oh, I don't know.
I just seen it. Am I tripping?
No.
He's fighting Tate, huh?
They're trying.
Yeah, Jake Paul and Tate are gonna fight each other.
In the octagon.
That in the fucking octagon?
Supposed to be in
Bro, Tate's gonna fucking eat his fucking lunch if it's for real. Because he was a kickboxer, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that whole cancel situation? Talking about being on the internet and having YouTube success.
I don't know. I generally don't like cancellations, but also if you ask for it, like.
Yeah. I mean, you got to know what's coming, right? Like, I say this all the time. I'm all for freedom of speech.
Sure.
I am 1,000. Never. I believe that you should be able to say what you want, what you feel.
Sure.
You know what I also believe? You got to be ready for the consequences, my guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was telling Will before you got here, I could walk up to a fucking 7'5" Muay Thai fighter and tell him, listen, you fucking bitch, your chick sucked my dick. I could say it, right? I got the freedom to say it, correct? I should probably be willing to accept the fucking aftermath, correct?
Yeah.
Because he's not just going to stand there and tell me, let me tell him he's a bitch and his chick sucked my dick.
Yeah.
He's going to fucking drop me.
And I think one of the important things, like, you know, little kids are watching our videos and shit too, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what I was hearing was, you know, elementary school teachers that were saying that they were mimicking what this dude, and it's not like he's new. Like, this was like, what was that dude, Julian, a few years ago from Real Social Dynamics that got canceled? I mean, there will always be somebody to pop up and fill the space, right? Like, there's always going to be young males looking to hear this message. Yeah. You know? And some people are going to monetize it, you know? So, I don't know. I mean,
the way I look...
Not a fan in particular, but...
The way I look at it, bro, is just like that. Like, yeah, say what you want. Say what you believe. Let's have a conversation. I'm for a conversation because... I want to see where your perspective is at. Why do you feel this way? What are you doing? Is this all a game? Is it a gimmick? Like, do you actually believe these things you're saying? Like, can you convince me a realistic reason why you like feel this way? So I'm all about the conversation.
Well, and the truth is that there's terms of service. This is, like we said, it's their platforms, right? So I can't tell them what to do or what not to do. Like, we can't post, you know, pornography or whatever on there too because we know the rules. Like,
Man, you know, I remember when there was porn on YouTube.
That's on Twitter,
That's how
bro.
Old I am. That's how I remember.
It's still on Twitter.
It is. It'll forever be on there. I think.
Man,
I remember like because it was like the first.
That's crazy. He said that too. I'm like, well, I'm not really on Twitter.
You ain't never seen
trash.
Twitter porn?
No,
yeah, it's horrible, bro.
It's Twitter is the worst. It's always been the worst platform.
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't even know how it's still. I really don't understand how it's still alive.
Only the most self-righteous, like people that like to sniff their own farts, are really on there, man. Like, honestly.
He's not even fucking playing.
They're in their little fucking blue check mark echo chamber, all just fucking slapping each other on the ass.
Bro, you'll scroll. It's everything you hate about Facebook, but times a million.
Yeah, really.
It's just people like it's a diary, dog. It's people just complaining,
wanting to be outraged all the time,
and then out of nowhere, it's this chick getting fucking railed.
Yeah, just like
by her stepson. Out of nowhere.
Or a dude getting railed or whatever.
Or a dude getting railed, yeah.
Fucking crazy.
Just out of nowhere. It's the most random, bro. You'd be like,
I didn't need to see a wiener right now. Like.
Bro, like this morning, if I would have been reading, it would have been like, oh shit, man, there's shit going on in Ukraine and Iran and oh man, political. Damn, this bitch could suck a dick. Like seriously, and it'll be a video.
All Twitter is Democrats, Republicans saying the other side's hypocrites.
Oh my god, if you wanted to really fucking want to punch yourself in the face, was to be on Twitter from 2020 to like 2021.
So did you guys hear that Elon's making them pay for the check?
Yeah, it's like $8.
They stopped it already.
They did.
So everybody, like bunch of people, like changed their name to him.
Did you hear about Eli Lilly? No. Somebody made a fake Eli Lilly account, the pharmaceutical company who makes insulin.
Oh, yeah.
And they said it was going to be free.
And then because they got the verification?
Yeah.
Yep.
Bro.
So we don't know exactly if it was because of that, but their stock fell like hundreds of millions of dollars within like several hours of that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So it could have been for other reasons, but like, you know.
Steven
Bro.
Spielberg or
If
something.
you look about how like Doge used to move when Elon Musk would talk about it or whatever,
Yeah,
like,
it would always
you
go.
go crazy, you know. So when people talk on Twitter, it can affect markets and cap space, and
And so now they're seeing, bro. That's
so now they
fucking
stopped it.
crazy.
Now I'm an Android user, so I never had the option. So
Oh, really? That's crazy, bro.
not easy being poor.
I seen those. It's not easy being poor. When someone sends me a picture from an Android, I'm like, "What? Did you fucking take this on a potato? What the fuck is
that's
going
me,
on?"
bro. That's me, my flip phone.
With your Motorola Razr.
Yeah, bro.
Look, that's crazy. Hey, that I did not expect that, bro. Completely shook.
At least it ain't the Kyocera flip phones.
Oh, bro.
Fucking Cricket.
What, you want to play?
Way back
You want
in
to play
the day.
Snake or what? You want to play
Yeah,
Snake?
no.
No, I don't.
That was the Nokia.
It was whatever.
That
bro.
was a
I didn't
Nokia.
have enough
I had
money to
that
have a
shit.
phone then. Right?
Yeah, I had that in high school, bro, and I got suspended because I didn't want to give the teacher my phone.
Yeah,
'Cause I was
we used
so-
to
I was
pull
so
the
embarrassed
cord
of it.
out the top.
I was so embarrassed.
Let me
of
put
the
my
old
antenna up
Nokia.
so I can make a call.
Yeah.
Hold on, you were so embarrassed you didn't want to pull it out. You didn't want to even show it to the
I
class.
didn't want the class to see me
How old
fucking
are you?
texting 35.
Oh, yeah, you're younger.
Yeah, bro. So we're like, yeah, I got.
Because texting really became a thing in like 05, I feel like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So when I graduated high school, we weren't really texting.
No, when I was supposed to
Yeah.
graduate high school, we weren't either.
Yeah.
Texting wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
I had a pager up until about 9th grade.
That predictive texting, remember you hit all the
Oh,
buttons?
bro.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so fast on that shit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that's.
Bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't have a cell phone until I was till 2006.
Now we
Yeah.
got all these touch screens, bro. It's like we'd only see that shit in like the movies.
I didn't
Listen.
get it.
like.
My first smartphone was my corporate job in like 2012.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You waited it out, bro. That's a long time. That's like rotary phone
Yeah,
shit.
and then I cracked my screen like 2 weeks into
Oh,
it,
bro.
I'm like, see, I didn't need this fucking giant thing.
Fucking see, I fucking told you guys.
My old flip phone, it was waterproof, so I would put it in a beer, and then I'd have somebody call me, and I'd chug the beer and answer the
And then
call.
answer
before I put it in, yeah.
That's a flex, bro.
You know.
A weird flex, but okay.
It was
That's-
weird, but yeah, it was
listen.
waterproof. I'd take it, I could throw it against the wall.
Listen,
it
I
wouldn't
guarantee
break.
there's still people that aren't around you right now telling that story.
Yeah,
I used to kick it with this dude. He's huge on YouTube now. He used to fucking slam a
We used to
beer.
go to Hooters, and he would challenge random people to beer chugging,
You
and
should
then
have seen it. Look, let me show you. He's cracking Ludacris's back. Watch, check it out.
That's what, did you really crack Ludacris?
Yeah.
Or, oh
yeah,
damn.
we got a video with Luda.
Can you imagine if I accidentally walked into that conversation? Jay, I did my homework, bro. Come on, give me more credit than
I
that,
thought
bro.
I did too. I was
Fuck.
like, okay.
Yeah, Luda's cool as shit.
That's dope.
He was down. That was when he was filming down here with Queen
Yeah,
Latifah,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah, he was coming to my office like every day.
Really?
Like 3 in the afternoon and knock on the door. It's Luda.
Man,
Damn, that's
so
Hey, can you work on me now? I'm like, all right, Maya, move people around, you know.
talking about that, there's real beef between you and physical therapists, huh? Chiropractors and physical therapists. Y'all are like, that's like Android and iPhone users.
I don't know.
Okay, so I rolled back in like 2014, 15. I rolled.
I think there's beef between everybody. Everybody thinks they know
That's
everything.
true, I
you know,
guess.
you want 5 opinions, go to 5 doctors, and you know, one's gonna be like get 6 vaccines, the other one's gonna be like take ivermectin. Like
I've never seen a doctor get more offended than if you say
I want a
I'm gonna
second
get
opinion. Bro.
Oh yeah, well fuck you then, guy.
I mean, chiropractors hate each other. Physical therapists hate chiropractors.
So the reason
you
I say
know.
that is because I wrecked my car in like 2015, and bro, I've had back issues like kind of like since. So it got really, really fucking bad like about like 5 years ago. I was out fucking cutting the weeds in the front, and I just fell, bro. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I thought it was my kidneys at first,
Yeah.
but it was my lower back. And so I went to my doctor, and they obviously sent me to physical therapist because that's my insurance would cover it. So they told me that my like hips from like the I rolled my car 4 times. My hips were like shifted; they were kind of out of place. So it was pulling on my back, and like I was like just kind of like discombobulated, so it was causing all kinds of tension and shit. And I was that's funny because I would tell him, I was like, yeah, I was thinking about going to a chiropractor, and she's all, you better never go to a chiropractor. That is dangerous. I'm like, well, aren't you kind of doing the same fucking thing? She's all, no, I'm stretching you. You never hear any cracks over here. I'm like, whoa, hey,
I can
hey,
stretch at my crib.
Listen, calm the fuck down. I was just saying, I don't know. There's a chiropractor on every
Yeah.
fucking street.
Which is crazy because like we have physical therapists on our team and they crack backs.
She was fucking, she was fucking pissed, man. The
Yeah.
fact that I even thought of it. She's like, no.
Yeah, we have 2 physical therapists and they both crack backs on our team. So
You know what? I'm not gonna lie.
I
though.
love physical therapists.
I
I've been
learned a
big against
lot.
physical
I did.
therapists,
I
you know?
learned a lot of shit that I was doing wrong when I was lifting weights, and I learned like that my hip flexor muscles were way more important than I realized they were.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I think there's shitty people in every field. I mean, most people are average at their job. So, but generally, I have nothing but I love physical therapists. I think they do a great job.
yeah, that's she was just one of one. She was pissed. Bro.
I mean, people.
Maybe
got
her ex-husband was a
pe-
chiropractor.
People got opinions, bro. People got opinions.
hers was loud, man.
Yeah.
I think her ex-husband.
There's this guy blowing up on YouTube.
Yeah, listen.
People's backs out. You better not.
People that don't know me definitely don't like me.
Hey, that's fucking weird to me, bro. That is the weirdest shit ever. That bothers me about the internet.
When you have enemies that you don't
even fucking know these people, bro. How like the energy it must take to not even follow somebody, right? But to follow them,
right?
You might not be following, but you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Not following, super paying attention.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to come in randomly and talk some stupid shit. And then just
you get that on yours?
Oh fuck yeah. I'm like, you're a fucking weirdo, my dude. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Luckily, some of my fans are fucking crazy, so I don't even have to like flame motherfuckers. Sometimes they come for their fucking necks, bro. And I'm like, I'll sit back, like, fuck this dude.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. I used to roast people like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
When I wanted to, I could have a sharp tongue, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a level of professionalism expected of me, and
especially in your field.
Yeah. And the bigger you are, the more you have to like not do that kind of stuff. You know, for me to go after somebody like that is really kind of bullying. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like me calling them out and 5 million people being like, "Oh,
let's attack this dude at the same time."
Yeah. So you know, people are welcome to their opinions. You know.
Sometimes, man, whatever. I've gotten better at it too. And you got way more eyes on you.
And people will make videos like, you know, intentionally gaslighting what you're doing and taking it out of context and shit like that. You know? What are you gonna do? I'm not.
But you, in your position, if you do respond or put them on blast, you're doing them more of a favor.
I'm just putting eyeballs on them and giving them attention that they're looking for. And I'm just not into negativity, man.
Really.
I know a lot of YouTube channels and stuff thrive on that, and people want to watch a car crash. I'm just not into it, man. I'm financially stable. You know, I have a successful practice. I want a chill life. I don't want to have drama with nobody.
Especially on the fucking internet, bruh. We have real drama down here in the streets of Albuquerque. We don't need internet drama.
For real.
Because it's not fucking real, bro.
I got a stalker out of YouTube that lived right down the street from me. Was leaving notes everywhere, like saying I was like stealing his animals, and
holy shit.
The FBI came to see me, Department of Homeland Security, like you name it, bro. Like,
bro, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
When was that?
Like 3 years ago, maybe. So
right
we had to get
right in the shit middle of the pandemic.
And then when I'm looking before that. And then, damn, was that 3 years, 4 years ago maybe?
Yeah, see, those 3 years, bro. Man. I want them back. I need a refund.
So he was driving through the parking lot, leaving these notes on people's cars, leaving them at the airport, just like the craziest, like schizo stuff, man. And then, like when they figured out who he was, he lived a block away from my office.
What the fuck?
Like literally at like MLK and I-25 right there. You know.
Whatever happened?
We got a what do you call it? A
restraining order.
Restraining order, and then he stopped. You know. Yeah. But I had to pay a private detective to like wait outside his house because he was like running away, like running from him when he was trying to serve him.
That's fucking crazy.
Because then he was like, "I'm gay, and Hightower wants to marry me, so we can sue my doctor at Prez." And
hold up, what the fuck?
He's committing crimes against humanity, like espionage and using his military training to assault the American people. And
holy shit,
bro! Just the craziest schizo stuff. And so, like, the FBI agent's like, "I have to ask you these questions. Are
you doing this?"
Yeah. And like, are you using Ariana Grande as an avatar to say that no more? Are you making him think that Beyonce Knowles is in his house and that you're standing in the corner?
Bro.
And like, you want to laugh, but like, this is like a legal question, bro. And
that's so fucking nuts.
And we were scared that he was like somehow figuring out where our patients were, because they were on our patients' cars at their work and like at elementary schools.
So like he was like following them.
Yeah, that must have been what it was, because like no way he could have had access to our records or whatever. So he would follow them out of the office parking lot to wherever they went and then put these things on their windshields. We had them on the security camera, throwing them out the windows, going by, like.
And see, if you're getting that ignoring, if you're getting that ignoring the negativity, imagine if you're pouring gasoline on the fire.
Bro.
Damn, that's crazy.
And you just, you know, it's a numbers game, right? So like, I don't know, if 1 in 100 or 1 or 200 people is like crazy and you have 5 million followers.
I mean, come on. Do the math. That's scary math.
That are gonna, you know, I don't know if you ever heard like David Letterman and like these people had crazy stalkers that would like break in their house and like wait there for him like consistently and like, I mean Ronald Reagan, right? Like he got shot by the dude that thought that Jodie Foster wanted him to shoot the president or something.
Yeah, bro. Like, well, just like 2 years ago, didn't Eminem fucking walk in and his stalker was in his fucking house?
Stan?
Yeah, he was the great value. He was Dan. He was the great value brand. But yeah, I mean, and you got these people with like massive amounts of security and fucking money, ridiculous money, and they still have to do it.
So that's what tripped me out about Luda. Luda rolled around by himself when he was here, bro. He didn't have security or nothing like that.
That is a trip.
Like when we met Queen Latifah, she had like a whole crew, like 4 or 5 bodyguards and all that kind of stuff. And
Luda came in solo.
yeah,
dolo.
he was him and Josh Brolin. They just roll around by themselves, like
That's a trip.
Josh Brolin too. That's dope.
Yeah, they just roll around by themselves, like
Fucking Thanos. He
No.
doesn't. I mean, he's got the stones, bro.
yeah, he just snap his fingers and people leave him alone real
He don't
quick.
need security.
Right?
You see that edit? We were just showing Will that before you got here. You see that edit where they threw Tuco in there?
Oh,
And he
yeah,
takes
yeah.
the stones from fucking Thanos and snorts them. That's just so epic, bro.
Yeah, that's dope.
That is so fucking burke, bro. I swear to God, whoever did that, like, nailed it, bro.
Yeah.
You ever had your shit pushed in?
Yeah, bruh.
I had my shit pushed in, Holmes.
That scene,
showed it
bro.
real bad.
I fucking, oh my God, every time.
When I first seen him, it was in Dusk Till Dawn. Do you guys remember those movies?
Yeah.
No.
Old school.
First time I seen him was in fucking Bound by Honor, my dude.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking Bound by Honor. Don't you remember? He's all, it's John Wayne.
Yeah.
He's all, you gonna shoot me like you did Miklo? Come on, bruh.
Oh,
Yeah, bro.
That's Chewie, bro. Oh, no, that's not Chewie.
No.
Chewie's the other one.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, come on,
Yeah.
Bound by Honor.
Okay.
That's one of
Yeah,
the
they only
greatest
cast like 8 Latinos
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
That over and over
That's
again.
the
Homie Hector, he's
Hector,
played. He's
bro.
Hector.
Fuckers.
He
Same
always
guy
plays
forever,
that,
dog.
man.
Poor dude.
He's always Hector.
Listen, one of these days he's gonna come out and shock us all, bro, and play a completely different
Yeah.
character. Watch.
Right.
I mean, black people too, right? It's always Denzel, Samuel
It's
Jackson.
always the same people, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they make us play the same roles, bro.
Same
Yeah.
cliche
We have
roles.
to do the
so
same
that's
thing.
not racism. That's interesting.
No, it's inclusivism, I think,
Oh,
or something.
okay.
I don't know.
Is that
Whatever,
how we do
however
it?
they would word it, bro. However they would word it, bro. Hey, but yeah, Bound by Honor, Jay, come on, bro, get on the fucking.
all right.
That's one of the greatest
I
movies of
forgot
all
about
time,
that
my
one.
guy.
El
Maybe
Gallo
it's just
Negro, Holmes.
Maybe it's just because I'm Latino and I related to it. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
like talking about that specifically.
Give me
Wow.
some chonchon.
That, bro, there's moments in it. And
Damn.
okay, Training Day. You brought me back. Okay, we don't got to talk about Black Panther. You brought me back to my Training Day thought process. That fucking scene is the most cringy scene on the face of the earth. Doesn't make any fucking sense, man. He's like, I got love from the homies. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
That scene's
What is going on here?
Erroneous on all accounts.
Bro, please. Someone edit this out of the movie, bro. This does not belong in there anymore.
Erroneous
That was
on
a
all
good movie.
accounts.
That was a dope movie, though.
It was all right.
Okay.
Let's be real here.
I like
Training
it.
Day was all right.
I like it.
It was good. Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I'll still watch
It's all
it.
right.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
a
all
fan.
right.
Hey,
King
you-
Kong ain't got shit on me.
You shot me in the ass, you motherfucker.
It's got its
Ooh,
moments.
Jake, you
You
motherfucker.
motherfucker. Training Day's got its moments for me, bro.
Ooh.
Being a little bit of a hater, I think. My favorite part is when he's all fucked up and he gives him the fucking. He tells him 8 different
Yeah,
drugs.
I didn't know you like.
So I didn't know you
I didn't
like to
know
get
you
wet.
like to get wet.
PCP, weed, coke,
Angel dust.
angel
Yeah, he
dust.
does.
It's like fucking 5, 6 different drugs.
Then the cyclo, yeah.
Bro, talking about drugs,
Mm-hmm.
you see fucking Denver just said, hey guys, it's fucking legal. my
Shrooms.
guys. Shrooms, DMT.
Really?
That
It
shit ain't a
is.
drug anyway.
No, it's not, bro. It is absolutely not.
If it grows, well, in this case, it grows out of shit. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say it grows out of the ground.
It's still natural. It's still natural, bro. It comes-
Meconium.
yes.
Yeah.
So as a doctor, how do you feel about that being used as therapy?
Hey.
Yeah. You seen the Netflix like documentary or series that they do on that on MDMA?
Yeah, I'm super familiar. Like most of the research done on psychedelics was done here at the Mind Institute at UNM.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, well, how come I couldn't have signed up for it?
They had trials. They were
Shit,
doing pure
bro.
MDMA drips, and
I guess I should pay more attention.
that's where most of the literature on like MDMA on like terminal cancer and stuff came from.
From
Wow.
bro,
LSD too.
I had no idea.
What's the guy's name? He was the big PhD down at UNM though, but like like maybe
Wow.
10, 15 years ago, like a lot of those big studies came out that really started moving the needle on all this stuff.
I did not know that.
I mean, listen, a lot of those drugs were lied about by the government, right? So I don't know if familiar, the MDMA study from the 80s with the put holes in your brains.
Yeah, it was all bullshit.
It was falsified
Yeah.
by the government, lies.
Yep.
Because they would never tell us lies
They
about
wouldn't lie to us.
no
Right.
way. What are you talking about? We
the-
landed on the moon.
The lies about like LSD being stored in crystals in your, you know.
yeah. Or what was the other one? MDMA would make
Yeah.
your back crooked.
Yeah,
Remember that
yeah.
one?
But all absolute bullshit,
Yeah.
right? Like, no, and even if our drug scheduling system is just whack, it's just fucking nuts.
Yeah. Oh,
So
look,
Schedule 1 means,
fentanyl
Yeah.
isn't a Schedule 1, but weed it still
right,
is.
right.
It's crazy.
And to be fair, fentanyl does have it has a very useful medicinal purpose. Technically, cocaine still does.
yeah. And let's be real here. It does still grow from the earth.
What is fentanyl?
Right?
Nah,
No. So, I mean, talking about that, I mean, opium.
I've seen it processed
Yeah.
in Colombia.
But it does come.
Mix a little gasoline.
It's still more natural than fucking shards, than methamphetamine.
maybe.
You don't think so?
I don't think
Pretty
so.
close.
I think we get caught up in chemistry is chemistry. So there was always this argument against LSD versus like shrooms or whatever, but the same thing really.
They do the same.
I mean, LSD is grown on ergot. It's a fungus off of a grain too. They're very similar in their actions. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the scheduling system, you know, you look back to Nixon and you know, you want to break up these protests, and so you know, all these free thinkers in the you know, Haight-Ashbury district in San Francisco, you make LSD illegal, you break up the hippies,
yeah.
You make, you know, weed illegal, and you get the black people in jail, and you know, all these drugs. Schedule 1 means no medicinal use and high potential for abuse.
Yeah.
Now, LSD cannot be addictive. It's not possible. The more you do it, the less it'll work. Same with MDMA.
Yeah,
MDMA can have some physical effects, right? Like it's a stimulant. LSD can have some psychological effects, but they're not going to kill you. You basically can't overdose on those drugs. It's physically.
I've never wanted to take ecstasy 2 days in a row.
Right.
Fuck no.
Right.
That sounds horrible. Same thing with
sounds
shrooms.
horrible. Yeah.
I mean, even you know, when I was younger and I did,
like you're like, damn, that was an experience.
You can't shroom again. I've done it.
It won't work.
We've taken.
You have to let your serotonin build back up.
Yeah, we've taken it right after, and we're not feeling anything, and we realize you.
But people on opiates take it again the next day.
Over and
they
over
go back to the well.
Over and over.
And same thing with speed, right? Like
yeah,
back to the well,
you keep wanting to go. Like with Percocets, like I struggled with Percocets for a while. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be completely blunt about it. Like the very next day, I got to a point where I would look at the clock and I'd be like, okay, yesterday I took it at 10:30. I felt great. I'm gonna take it at 10:25.
Yeah.
So I was instantly putting myself on this regimen of a daily basis of taking them, and I didn't even fucking need to take them anymore.
Right.
But with shrooms, fuck no, I ain't gonna fucking take shrooms 2 days in a row at 10:30. Are you fucking crazy?
So I'll say this: I don't think they're for everybody. I think like you should probably make sure that your mental health is pretty good beforehand. You know, whether that's seeing a psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever, and like, you know, kind of knowing your background, because I know people have had a definitely bad experience on that kind of stuff. And, you know, you need to be prepped and told that you don't want to make any life decisions. You know, you do LSD and sell your house and realize that you're one with the universe. And like 5 months later, your brain's back to normal. Like, what the fuck did I do? You know?
I'm not. I'm just another keg. Just another peg in the wheel.
You know, you do MDMA or ketamine with some chick, and you all run off to Vegas to get married.
Oh yeah, and you're in
fucking
love forever.
Hate each other. You know,
and you realize she's a fuck. You're a nightmare. She's a nightmare.
Bro, you were just high, man. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's the thing too. It's okay to realize that too on this stuff that we're calling medicine. Maybe you're just high and you're in a dissociative state, and that's a good thing for you to break the cycle.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, they're on LSD, they're on DMT, and they're like, write that down, that's so important. And the next day they go look at their notebook and it says, be nice.
Holy shit,
I mean, you know, they were just high, bro.
It depends on how you look at it.
The feeling was crazy at the time. You're like, man, why aren't we just nice? Why don't we go outside more?
Like, let's just all care about each other. Yeah.
And that feeling is real, but it's not some sort of fucking profound thought. It's
and
just a
overwhelming too when you have it.
Yeah.
Like,
why can't we always feel like this?
Man, one time I was rolling balls, bro, and we were listening to. I had a pound of some fire ass fucking weed, bro, just fire. And I used to save all my roaches. And we were listening to Eazy-E, and I told my chick, I was like, you know what? Eazy-E's like the best fucking rapper ever. And I had a pound sitting right there, and we were too lazy to even break into the pound. We were just smoking roaches. I was like, damn, why don't we smoke roaches more often? Like, this is so easy.
This is so great.
I just want to smoke roaches and listen to Eazy-E. That's where my mind was, dog. And listen, at the time, brother, that was the most epic. I could have lived my life in that moment forever.
Yeah.
Listening to Eazy-E. In some alternate universe, I'm still smoking roaches and listening to Eazy-E.
So they've shown data like both with shrooms and LSD and MDMA, those three in particular, that if you're talking through with like a therapist, like horrible shit in your life, terminal cancer, the death of a loved one, the way that your brain puts those memories and stores them changes through the serotonin. It makes you okay with them. And that feeling can last, and it can help you get over those sensations. And I think that's the stuff that it's the most useful for. I know people that'll take shrooms and like help them with problem solving. You know, I've known clinicians that like they can't solve somebody's low back, and they have all their charts out, and they take some, and they're looking at the anatomy chart, and they've been able to solve it. And they're like, oh, I figured out what the missing piece was.
Damn, that's crazy.
You know, because it just, you know, it's allowing your neurons to connect in ways they don't normally connect.
And that's the basis, that's the fundamentals of what it's actually doing to you.
Yeah.
Like,
and it could be that mushrooms actually promote neuronal growth. We don't know that for sure, but it's possible.
What's that?
So, you know, generally speaking, you lose neurons over the course of your life. Like your brain shrinks, particularly if you've had like head trauma or you're an alcoholic or whatever. And it could be that those neurons are not stimulated. And it could be that the mushrooms allow those pathways So, like, one of the theories is, like, if you're on shrooms or LSD and you think the walls are breathing, right?
I know that exact feeling.
Well, it's probably not the walls are breathing. You're breathing, and now you're just able to perceive that when you're breathing, your head actually moves a little bit. But your brain usually filters it out. Like, you have these 2 blind spots here, right, that your brain filters out. But there's actually 2 holes in your vision right here. Your brain filters out your nose, generally. So it doesn't pay attention to things. So
until you focus on it, it's like, oh fuck, I can see my nose.
Yeah, and it's always there. Oh shit.
Oh shit. Well, I got to remember to blink.
So if you close your eye, there's a point. If you look straight ahead, look straight ahead and move your finger, there's a point where your finger will disappear.
Damn. So, but your brain just blocks it out.
Right, because that's where your blood vessels come in. So you don't have rods or cones there, but your brain fills it in with surrounding information. Even time is a singular slice, but your brain molds them together to keep you from going crazy.
Yeah.
Even consciousness might be that. Like, when we look at studies, your motor cortex fires before your premotor cortex, like in an A or B decision, which means your body's making a decision before your brain chose to.
Holy shit.
Okay.
So it could be that, like, our consciousness doesn't actually decide anything at all, that our body's making decisions, and we've evolved this consciousness that will go crazy if it doesn't think it's in charge. Just the same way you're not, thinking about processing the liquid in your kidneys right now, and the shit in your stomach and your heart and all those.
Well, because the moment you start thinking about that shit, your body's like you said with your nose, or when you start thinking about blinking.
And if you ever think about flow state when you're rapping, when you're playing basketball or whatever, you do the best when you're not thinking about it.
1000%. I couldn't agree with that more. Like literally when you're just there.
Yeah.
100% where you're at, what you're doing.
When you're in the zone, when you're flow state.
Or after.
The more you think about it, the more you'll fuck it up.
Bro, you just got to go. Like, you just got to go.
Which leads credence to that same thing, that your body is smarter than your brain.
That's a trip. And, I mean, I can, like, look at that from a creative process, and I can actually see that in ways that I've created things.
Yeah.
Like, I look back on whenever, like, you hit a writer's block or you hit a wall, it's usually because you're like, I'm just banging my head up against the wall. Like, I like, there's literally no more words in the dictionary.
Right.
It's the last verse I'm ever going to fucking write. But then I come back with fresh eyes on it, and I'm like, what the fuck? It was staring at me right there in the face the entire time. That's why when I shifted, like, I stopped writing my lyrics down. When we started working together, like 2012.
Okay.
I didn't think I could do it. Like, I was like, there's no way, that's impossible. But then I slowly started doing it, and I was recording in the moment with the beat, writing as I was in the beat. Man, I could never go back.
Makes sense.
I could never go back because you're you're so in the song and you're so in the music that it's so easy. It just comes out.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's crazy because when you look at some of the neuroscience data on that kind of stuff, and that's why I always tell people, like, trust your instinct in a lot of things. If it feels like scary to get this shot, or if it feels scary to get this, like, adjustment or whatever, like, probably listen to your body. Like, your body's maybe telling you there's something inside of you that it wouldn't respond well to this. And don't, like, talk yourself through it. Listen, if it doesn't feel right to you or natural to you, don't do it. Like, don't let somebody pressure you into something, no matter what it is, whether it's drugs or treatments or whatever,
All of our nanas told us the same thing, right? Mijo, listen to your gut.
Yeah.
Listen to your gut. If it feels wrong, don't do it.
And if you got the BBGs, they do the little skin pull on your low back.
Yeah, I mean, listen to your gut, because it's usually right. Most of the times that I ignored it, I regretted it. 9 times out of 10.
Even in school, like, when I teach doctoral students, I'm like, your subconscious brain remembers the shit better than your brain does. So your first instinct on the question is almost certainly right. Your brain will try to talk you out of it. Your subconscious remembers it.
Yeah.
So if that feels like the right answer, stick with it. Like, don't overthink it. Don't go back and change it. Be like, well, this might be a trick question, or
go with your initial instinct. Yeah. And I think that's what,
even with, like, business and people around you, like, you'd be like, no, I'm just overthinking it. Like, if your body is telling you something about somebody, it's probably there.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's probably there.
That's that saying, so when someone shows you who they really are, you got to believe them.
Yeah.
I think most people want to see the good in a situation, so they'll ignore red flag after red flag. And it usually comes physically too. Usually you're like, I don't know, there's just something about that fucker.
Yeah.
There's just something about him. And then years later it's like, yeah, fuck, that dude fucking stole 50 grand from me. What the fuck? I should have listened.
Yeah. And I just assume everybody's going to do that. And occasionally when there's good people, I'm like, oh, cool, you proved me right.
Oh yeah, at least there's a few of us left. Fuck,
90% of people are going to fuck you over if they get the chance.
Yeah.
Even family, so.
Yeah, and especially when
if you expect that, you can't be let down. And then if somebody doesn't, you're like, all right, that's a keeper,
Yeah.
Too many people go and giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, and to me, that's crazy.
Well, because most people are not worth it. Most people aren't worth giving them the benefit of the doubt because they're going to prove you fucking wrong.
And then there's nuance, right? Like, it's like, okay, So like when people talk about like the election, they're like, "Are you telling me none of these people that you're showing me a picture of, not a single one of them stole the ballot?" Look, there's no. If you're going to make remarkable claims like the election was stolen or something, you better have some serious evidence.
Yeah.
But to say there was no foul play ever.
I mean,
Bro.
we were just talking about
Does
it.
anybody cheat on their taxes? No, nobody in America cheats on their taxes.
People
Did anybody cheat in
fucking lie.
relationships? No,
Yeah,
not
no.
a single person in America ever cheated on their spouse.
You
Like,
can't
what do
look
you
at it.
mean? You're telling me there's 40,000 fucking poll workers and not a single one of them did some shady shit?
You can't look at it. You can't look at it one way or the other too extreme. Right.
And
There's
I'm not
gotta
saying
be
that
a
it's
middle.
one side or the other, but for
Yeah.
somebody to make that statement
That
like,
no
oh,
way.
there's no way. So
Yeah, it's the same way as saying everybody. If you're saying no way, no one is the same way as saying everybody stole something.
And what's crazy is when they did like the audits or whatever, I think there was more Republicans that like stole votes or whatever.
When it came back, that's what it did look like. It's like, damn, look what we
You're like, damn,
uncovered.
y'all were talking all that shit.
Man,
y'all
bro.
did it more than they did.
That was such a fucking crazy, wild ass time, bro. From 2020.
Not to 2015, man. Since
Yeah.
dude came down the escalator.
That's very true. But 2020 was some shit out of a
for
fucking
one individual
Twilight Zone.
to like fucking dominate the social consciousness for 8 years straight. Like nobody's ever done that.
No, and it's
To
still
where
happening.
everybody was talking
it's
about
still
it
going
all the
on.
time. CNN.
It's still happening, brother. It's still going on to this fucking day.
Well, that's like, when you really break it down why everybody's mad at Elon, they could say it's this, that, the other. The truth of the matter is they're scared he's going to let Trump back on, right?
I mean, I was just having this conversation, bro.
That's a point. That's a good point. Yeah.
So now he's a proxy to that guy, even though they don't even like each other.
Yeah, but they think he's the segue, he's the doorway back
so
in.
So therefore, he is bad too, or something like that.
Yeah,
and then everything we talk about is based upon that. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I think so. Everything is based on this guy. Like
it's fucking crazy.
Everything.
Bro. I know.
You're a good guy, a bad guy, depending on which side you're on. But what you say about this guy, you're like, I don't know the guy. I'm not.
Exactly,
and it's still dominating everything, bro. The fact that
and he's not even a good dude,
bro. What?
Like everybody's so up in arms defending this dude. He's a fucking.
But look how far we are removed from how long has he been out of office now?
Almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah, it'll be. January 23. It'll be 3 years in January.
That's so fucking crazy,
right? Or 2 years.
Dog. I don't know.
I think we're coming up on 2 years.
My brother,
Okay.
Right?
COVID years
2020. Yeah, you're right. 2 years.
different year. It feels like 100.
Yeah.
These past 2.5 years, I don't know, whatever.
Man,
I
everybody
want a
fighting
refund.
over masks.
Oh my
and-
God, fighting over everything, bro. Everything.
paper.
It was masks. It was toilet paper. It was
dang.
left. It was right. It was red. It was blue, bro.
You know, bro,
amount of division.
You know what pisses me off, bro? Is everybody's so up in arms about like the gas prices, right? And it's like out here, bro. It's not bad.
It's not good either.
It's not good.
It's not good either.
But compared to like Cali and all
Okay,
these
what are
other
the salaries
places-
out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But I mean, out here, shit, we're at like 320.
I don't like it, bro.
I fucking hate it
I
too.
don't like it, bro.
I hate it, Jay.
It could be worse, dog.
Come on, bro.
It could be better too.
It could be better too.
It could.
It could be better.
I'm gonna buy me a fucking skateboard, bro.
And like, obviously they blame the president for gas prices, which I mean, there's not really any evidence of that. Like what it, you can release the petroleum reserves to get they're about to go up a lot now that he's not going to release the reserves anymore. But the problem is that trickles up too, because then your food's more expensive. And if people's wages aren't going up, that really hurts poor people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It does. People
that-
struggle to fucking, especially when you got to pick like, well, do I drive to work?
And you got a guy like me has a $12 or 12 mile a gallon truck right now.
Oh, mine too, bro. Mine too. I just fucking drove to Colorado, bro.
Fuck.
Bro. Fucking. I'm
gonna get an electric truck. Out of look, it's like 120,000. I'm not getting an electric truck.
Oh, you're gonna. I was about to say you're about to start a whole nother fucking argument now because there's the people like, no, electric? Hell no. They're just gonna turn you off. When you want to go somewhere, they could just unplug you from the whole fucking system.
Couldn't they turn the gas pumps off?
It's the same conversation,
And
bro.
all these newer vehicles too. I think they have to be able to control shit to some extent.
Bro.
to do kill switches and all this.
For
shit
fucking
now.
what, man? What are they gonna do?
I mean, on our new gas trucks, they could turn that shit off. I guarantee you. It's got GPS. It's on the Wi-Fi
Oh
stuff
yeah,
too.
that's exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like
Hey, if they
But
get
why?
enough.
Why?
For what? For
Billy, we're turning your truck off.
For what? Listen, fuck you, man. Stay home. But like,
Even when they could have been controlling us, like during the pandemic when they were watching our cell phones, they didn't do shit about it.
what did? Yeah, exactly. What did they do? Nothing, bruh. Nothing. We fucking fought over
We fight each
politics.
other for no reason.
For nothing, absolutely nothing. People,
you know, the people making $12 an hour getting screamed at when they're just trying to keep from getting fired. You know, because Karen doesn't want to put it on for 5 minutes. Bro, you're a guest in the store. Just put the damn thing on.
And she's standing there looking at her like, please. I do not want to work here anyways.
And they're all constitutional lawyers all of a sudden. Oh, my, they're progging.
They bust out their phone. Look, Section 879. It's like
everybody's a legal scholar now. And they're an epidemiologist. That was quick.
Did you notice how fast it happened on Facebook?
Yeah, everybody's a virologist.
You fucking flunked 7th grade 3 times, my dude. Why am I going to take your advice on this situation?
And listen, I'm not even saying, look, a lot of mistakes were made. It turns out in retrospect, none of that shit worked, right?
Oh,
like
bro. How many times did they back out from what they fucking said? If I have to hear one more time, like, well,
but I don't want to hear the people saying, like, we told you, bitch, you didn't know that.
You didn't say shit.
Nobody knew that.
No.
You got lucky. You were right because you were lucky.
You did. And I got the first fucking, like, the first wave of COVID.
Yeah.
That shit fucked me up. Knocked my dick in the dirt. My sense of smell and taste is barely coming back.
I've never tested positive, man.
That's crazy.
I've never had it. My wife had it 3 times. All 3 times I didn't get it.
Hey, they were saying some people can be like the outbreak monkey, the carriers. Yeah, see,
it's your boy.
I got it hard, bro, and like it's the only thing that the long term effect that it had on me was my smell and taste.
Okay.
It didn't.
The second vaccine fucked me up. I had to miss work. I was down. I couldn't even stand up.
Which one did you get? Pfizer
Moderna.
You got Moderna. You got the great value. Come on, brother. You can't go get the shot at fucking flea market.
You know Moderna has 3 times the mRNA as Pfizer.
Does it?
Yeah.
Why is it labeled as the poor man's version of the vaccine?
Is that a thing?
I got
Moderna's 100 micrograms and Pfizer's 30.
Really?
So 3 shots of Pfizer is equal to 1 Moderna.
See, look, it's been so long already. I'm talking about Johnson & Johnson.
I wish I would have had the Johnson & Johnson, honestly.
At this point, looking at all the information that's come out after now, yeah, bro.
But we didn't know, so it is what it is.
No.
Well, and they were misleading about like the stroke risk of it. It was so infinitely low. You know, people just don't understand statistics. You know, so you'll see these. So it's like this Johnson & Johnson. Do you ever see this thing with the talc powder?
Yeah.
So people were trying to say that it caused ovarian cancer.
Yeah.
0 chance of that. So that was the lawsuit was based on that Johnson & Johnson didn't label that they might have had a carcinogen in their product.
So that's the way they were able to sue them.
Right, but the carcinogen was for mesothelioma. So talc is mixed in with asbestos occasionally. So asbestos has been known to be a carcinogen for your lungs. It's little fibers, and they rub against the alveoli in your lung, and they can cause metaplasia of the cells there, and that causes cancer. So it has to enter your body. So the talc powder, you're telling me it went up the vagina, which is all exit, past the cervix, which your sperm has a hard time doing, went up the fallopian tubes, through the ampulla, and crossed over the inner space into the ovaries and then caused cancer there?
Bro, that sounds like a lot of work. She must have really been trying to put it up there.
It's impossible. Why would it go to the ovary?
True.
Wouldn't it cause stomach cancer or Barrett's esophagus or
and who the fuck is eating baby powder?
I'm just fucking saying, motherfucker.
Hey, but who the fuck is eating baby powder, Jay?
If you're breathing it in,
well, if you like inhale, if it's it's powder, bro.
It could cause lung cancer theoretically. It could cause mesothelioma or
but that wasn't what the lawsuits were for.
No, they were insinuating that the data doesn't match that either. Statistically, there wasn't a higher amount in the group in the control group than there was as far as ovarian cancer. But unfortunately, when it came down to a jury of 12 people that don't understand numbers or science, they said, well, here's this Globocorp that's a billion dollar company, and here's the family of a bunch of people that they died of cancer. Just give them some fucking money.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't based on the science there. Like,
it was just based off of feelings and look, you guys fucked up, here, give them the money.
Like sperm, right? It has to use fructose, so it has a little flagella in there. So it requires energy to be able to go because everything is coming out. Everything is leaving the woman. Like, it's trying to get shit out of there. It's trying to get fungus and bacteria and everything out that direction. So if you have low motility sperm that doesn't have a lot of energy or a bad flagella, you're not going to be able to get up into the ovaries.
My shit's
or near the
steroids,
ovaries.
I think.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. High
superpower, yeah. You got super sperm. That's a song.
It's got to be.
My super sperm. I'm going to do.
You're like Denzel. You're like, you want a boy? I can't miss.
I can't miss. Boom.
I can't miss.
Yeah, so people just don't understand like that kind of stuff. So they misinterpreted that to say that, you know, and they did the same thing with the Johnson & Johnson thing. That's not what that said, you know.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing with the risks of Cairo when they show the risk versus the regular population. There's no increased signal there. So they'll take an anecdote and they'll say, oh, this happened. Or even if people die now, they'll be like, "Oh, the vaccine 2 years ago." I'm like, "So it waited 2 years to pop up and get them? Like nothing else happened."
You see those
people have heart attacks.
Yeah,
like,
you see those people in the comments all the time. Like I'll still see them randomly for no reason in the weirdest section
3 years
of YouTube.
later.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, you got the vaccine, huh? Yeah, bro, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I have fibromyalgia, my guy.
Right.
There's no...
Or, or fucking people have congestive heart failure.
People fucking die, man.
Bro. Yeah.
People die,
They
bro.
always do. They always have.
Yes, and they're going to continue to do
Yeah,
this
we all
thing.
going to go, man.
That's the one thing that binds us together,
That's
brother.
what trips me out. Even just like meeting people in this YouTube sphere, like R.I.P. Rumble Johnson just died. He's 38 years old.
I know, bro.
He had lymphoma. This orthopedic surgeon we did a video with in LA, he had pancreatic cancer done. My friend John Bartolo, who was a podcast host in Vegas, 40 years old, dropped dead of a heart attack.
Fuck, bro.
It's just like, man, tomorrow's not promised to anybody, man. It's just, and we're relatively young, so like my wife is tripping out, and Kevin Nash's son, he was in a video with us too, the wrestler, and like just all these people are just boom, 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 boom. And she doesn't interact with a lot of people, so for her, this seems like a big pattern. And I'm like, yeah, well, just people go, man. Like,
I think
different health issues.
Well, I think as you get older, bro,
can you imagine being like
mortality starts
70, 80, all your brothers, sisters, all your friends?
Yeah, see, that fucks with me, bro.
That's tough, bro.
Yeah, that fucks with me.
I was at my aunt and uncle's not too long ago, bro, and they lost like 5 friends within like a month or 2, bro. And it was
imagine what that does to your feeling of mortality coming,
Bro, yeah.
Aside from being, sad that they're gone too, but
they're
they're
all
like
the same age, bro. It's like it's inevitable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
How scary
even
is
me
that?
from like my friend group of high school, like we lost 3, in the last 5 or 6 years to like alcohol.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting back thinking we'd be pulling runners in high school and sticking vodka bottles out in the mesa and coming back and getting them. I didn't know these people were gonna have such a problem with it. It was gonna kill them. We were all just getting drunk. Like we didn't know.
And you just don't think that it can happen. Like it doesn't seem like it's quick. It doesn't seem like it takes as long as it does. I guess what I'm trying to say. Like I still feel like I'm 37. I still most of the time feel like I'm 25.
Yeah, mentally, right?
Mentally, I'm like 25. You know what I mean? But you start seeing the people that you went to school with
dropping off
from things like that, like alcoholism, right? You know what I mean?
And it's health stuff now. When I was younger, people were getting shot,
car wrecks,
overdose,
ODs. Like I still lose people, bro, all the time to overdoses, bro. It's like I'm not even gonna lie, I'm like kind of numb to it, dog. It's been like my entire life since I was a little kid, nonstop. Like so that it fucking hurts to say it and it sucks to say it, but that's regular to me.
Right.
That's like people passing away from like a car accident,
right, or heart attack.
What you would expect at our age,
yeah.
But now
it's heart attacks, cancer, and shit like that.
Where it's like fuck, bro. Like that seems like
living longer
because when they died earlier, it was kind of like life decisions, right?
Yeah,
it was like they OD'd, they they were caught up in some gang shit or whatever.
They were drunk.
Like I had 2 or 3 kids from my high school class that got caught up in like armed robberies and stuff like that. But in your mind, you're like, yeah, that's a decision they made. Like now people are dying of pancreatic cancer and heart attacks and shit. And you're like, they didn't really do. And with cancer, we're always like, well, what did they do? What did they do? Like, they must have been a smoker or something. And it's like, dude.
And sometimes no, bro. Like
a lot of times though. It's just.
Cancer causes cancer. Thinking about cancer fucking causes cancer. The sun causes cancer. Everything, bro. Like
state of California.
Yeah, for real, bro.
In the state of California.
This wood.
No shit. Make some fucking noise for Jay's little fuck. Yeah, that was a good one, Jay. I like that.
No joke.
I remember the first time I realized that, bro. I was putting lights on my house, right? And I opened it up the package and I'm looking at it, I'm like, may cause cancer. What the fuck am I doing touching these fucking lights? What the fuck's going on? And I was like, lights. In California. I was like, okay, we ain't in California, dog. That's California shit. Yeah. We ain't getting cancer over here for these fucking lights.
It definitely doesn't do that in Ohio.
Like, it's for me, bro, now, like, knocking on 40's door and losing people now to, like, not freak occurrences or life decisions, right? It really puts it into perspective and it really holds a mirror up. Like, and then during COVID too, it's like, listen, bro, are you happy?
Is COVID gonna get me? Is the vaccine gonna get me?
I started asking myself, really started.
I know a lot of people had really bad reactions to it, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Neurological symptoms, I think 7 or 8 people I know had to go to the hospital immediately.
Damn, really?
But then they're not going to say anything because they don't want to give fodder to the anti-vaxxers, right? So they would even message me like, I kind of want to tell people, and I'd be like, just so you know the consequences, they're going to take your story and run with it and use you as their poster boy.
You're going to be the fucking poster boy on,
So then they wouldn't post about it because they didn't want to give the Q people like,
so they had
ammo.
to deal with it in silence.
Right.
And see, that was what's fucked up is it caused that
Because
kind
of
of
this,
division between people. Yeah.
Right.
Like there was no way to have a healthy conversation between both sides because it's like, oh, fuck you, you're a Trumper. Oh, fuck you, you're a fucking snowflake. Blah. And it was just, oh, you're a vax, you're anti-vax.
I took so much heat, man, because I was, I don't think I was pushing it, right? I think I was just clarifying the statistics, the data. But they all decided that was me pushing it on them. Like, I never told anybody you have to or you should.
They probably went for your neck,
here's the data. Like just
decide yourself.
Yeah. Just because here's me getting vaccinated. Ah!
Yeah.
Okay.
You're scared, fucking living in fear.
Now they could track you.
Well, then it was like, oh, there's nano in you. You're gonna drop dead in 6 months. Like I'm still here.
Yeah, you're still here.
Who says it didn't cause heart inflammation? I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can't
who
can't go back now. I mean, even if it did, you survived it, so there you go.
Right, and maybe I survived COVID too. I don't know.
And you didn't know.
But the way that people misinterpreted those kind of things, and I intentionally made it to the point where I was like, not telling you what to do with your body, but like, here's what the data says. For most people, they should probably do it. And it'll speed up the process of us opening up and getting business open. And don't you guys say you care about that? Like this is one of the ways we could do that.
Let's get back to business, bro.
Because I don't want to wear a mask forever, bro. I don't like this shit either.
Bro, I hated it. The moment they said that you could take the masks off everywhere, bro, I almost had a bonfire, bro.
Tired of smelling my stinky ass breath. I'm like, God damn, I can't believe other people have to deal with this.
And then some people, bro, after I was like, that's what you really look like? What the fuck?
Right.
What the fuck's been going on this whole time?
Everybody aged underneath it. Like, damn, bro, your beard's gray now.
It was funny to see all the actors all of a sudden they have gray hair. It's like, bro, what the fuck? You aged?
No, then people would say in my comments like, "You've been looking pretty rough, man. Was it the vaccine?" I'm like,
yeah, that's fucked up, bro.
Damn.
I can't even having a bad hair day in this motherfucker, bro. Fuck y'all.
Damn. Are y'all so mad? Why do you care what I did? Like, and truth be told, like if I didn't work and this is when it was preventing transmission. It doesn't do that at all anymore, right? Like we kind of know that now. Yeah. So
the evidence supports that.
Right. At the time, at the original strain, it looked like it was doing that. Like for me to not, do everything possible to keep my patients safe is unethical in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
And I have old grandparents, they're late 80s.
Yeah.
If I didn't do everything that I could to try to protect them, like the guilt that I would have if I brought it to them and that made them sick, or my family blaming me for that, and I hadn't seen them for a year because of it. Like I wanted to be able to see my grandparents, and if that meant I have to inject some shit in my body, like, to me that was what really, those two things really made the decision for me. Like
100%. I was the same way with one of my close brothers. He has MS, right?
Right.
And he takes medication that completely strips away he has no immune system, zero. So I wasn't gonna risk. I would and then his mom takes care of him, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just them there
I would rather me get sick and some shit happen than me get him sick.
There's
so
no
that's how I felt
fucking way I would have risked getting them sick.
Even if I was wrong, which I may be in retrospect, right?
Yeah.
Like now we know that it's wrong.
But that was the thought process. Like that was me at the time
My heart
too.
was in the right place, and I was, I was doing those things unselfishly. I didn't want to fuck it. I wasn't, bro. I promise you, I'm not scared of COVID. I'm not scared of the vaccine.
Yeah, no.
I put way dumber shit in my body than both those things. in my life, bro.
Bro, you should have seen the shit I was snorting about fucking 6 years ago, my guy. That shit fucking glows in the dark, my dude.
That shit now, bro.
Nah, 6 years. What's the statute of limitations? I mean, 7 years ago.
7 years. 7.5.
7.5 years ago.
You mentioned that fentanyl has a use. Mm-hmm. What use would that?
Well, it was a pharmaceutical.
Yeah, it's a surgical painkiller.
Okay.
So it's still used a lot. Like it has a very good surgical use.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But what you're getting in the streets versus what they're using out of their Presbyterian.
Do people break into vet clinics and
just to get fentanyl?
Just to get it, bro.
It's everywhere, dog. It's
so cheap
scary,
and it's so much more powerful than heroin. So people.
Damn. It's everywhere.
And that's the trippy thing with all these, the homeless people. When we were kids, they were just winos, and now they're all, it's either fentanyl or meth, bro.
Bro,
the guy out there talking to himself, he's on meth. The person with their shirt up like this, just laying in there smoking, they're smoking fentanyl.
I can't even go to after parties anymore after shows. It's like, what the fuck? You guys are fucking doing weird drugs.
And the thing is you can't fix those people. Like, you're not going to get them off those. The drugs are just so powerful now. Like, I don't know what the solution is. Like,
I don't either, bro. I've been around addicts my entire life.
And now it's in the yayo and it's in everything else. I know 3 people that have died thinking they were snorting coke.
Yeah, and see, to me, like, it's all fucked up, bro. But that is a next level of fucked up because, like, they're going into it. What was that? There was a comedian, right? Wasn't it? It happened not too long ago, in L.A. Him and like 2 of these chicks that he was with, they got coke and they all fucking died.
Yeah, man.
Because they thought that because it was all laced with fentanyl.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking everywhere, dog.
And that 2C that's out there right now, same thing.
It's crazy,
the pink stuff, it's all fentanyl too.
It's everywhere, bro. And
it's scary and it's so cheap and you know, and people are like, well, why would they do this? I'm like, bro, have you ever met somebody that cooks up drugs?
Yeah.
Bro, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No.
They're just like, hey, people like this shit and they'll pay for it.
Yep, let's keep it going.
As long as they feel a good high from it, fuck it. Like,
let's keep
whatever I got to put in that shit, whatever's cheap and whatever I can put in it.
They got more money. It's a revolving door.
They're not fucking high-level chemists, bro.
No, they're not. They want to go with the cheapest.
It's not Walter White, you know what I'm saying?
No, they're not investing.
They're more like Jesse adding chili.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
for
chili
real.
powder.
Chili powder.
Ooh, this is the spicy.
Damn, this fentanyl tastes like Garcia's.
Bro, this is Breggy Bombs.
Yeah, bro.
I know this one. This is Sadie's.
So I guess let's wrap it back out that direction. So talking about New Mexico, do you think it's difficult to establish yourself how you've established yourself coming from here?
Maybe. I don't know. I guess not.
Like, the way I look at it, right? Like, I know I asked you the question, but I look at it like I think it's a little harder for us because we have no industries.
I'll say this for like what I do. Middle-sized cities are a place that, like, somebody in my field can grow and become the best in their city pretty easily. Like, I used to, I've practiced in Dallas and Cincinnati and San Antonio. Like, getting the top of Dallas, being the best person in Dallas is a lot of work. There's guys that have been there for 20, 30 years.
There's so many people.
Yeah. The mid-sized cities, there's not that many people that are doing what you do, So a city like Tucson or Boise or Albuquerque or Oklahoma State, that's a place you could really, especially if there's big name like people around. Like in our case, it was just the MMA fighters, right? So like Jackson's was the Mecca, and they all used me, and I kept them healthy for fights, and so that combination really helped me to blow up.
You were able to fold it in and
I kind of came on their coattails in reality. Like if it wasn't for like Carlos Condit and Diego Sanchez and all these guys, like I would have even probably had a name. So they really put me on, and then once I was on, it was up to me to keep going. And at this point, I'm probably like my social media is bigger than almost all of them. Probably Maybe John's is bigger and maybe Holly's bigger, but otherwise, like,
I think
when I go places, I'm gonna get recognized more than most of these fighters will
because you're actively on it and constantly doing it.
I might have 500 million views on YouTube and 500 million views on Facebook.
Crazy, bro. So that's for me, and I feel the same way, bro. It doesn't really matter like where you're from, what your background is, like the if you like had it rough, if you didn't, like it's all at the end of the day, it's on you.
Yeah.
What's the tools that you have and how you're gonna utilize them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you're from. Like, what about old boy that singing dude on TikTok that was just doing 1, 2, 3, he was just singing fucking numbers.
Yeah. That Mr. Beast, when he blew up, he was like counting to 1,000,000 or something.
You know what I'm saying? He blew up.
His biggest, he said like Jake Paul like 1,000 times in a row or stayed up for 24 hours. That's the shit that Mr. Beast did to blow up.
And that dude,
before he had any money.
That dude I'm talking about from TikTok, he literally lives in like the fucking, like, I don't even know where he lives, but it looks like he fucking lives in the bushes, bro. Yeah. Like, he comes from nowhere, guaranteed there's no industries where he's from, but he fucking blew up, bro.
And for me, to be fair, having lived in so many other places, like being around high-level business people and stuff like that, which you're not going to be exposed to here.
Yeah.
The corporate world and, high-level athletes. I worked with a lot of Cowboy players and Bengals players and stuff like that. I lived in Colombia. I worked with their Olympic team. That put me, again, ahead of the curve of a lot of people in Albuquerque, just knowing how to interact with high-level people and just be normal and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had that growing up here, honestly. If I didn't go other places, I'm not sure I would have.
You wouldn't have been
able to learn those things.
And I think I got that being on the road so much, being on tour. Like, I got to see different things.
Yeah.
And bring that, like, I never lost home. I never lost our gente or our culture. Like, it stayed with me. You know what I mean? Fucking obviously.
Right. Here we are.
Here we are. So but I utilized
Yeah, people are like, why aren't you in LA or Miami? I don't know.
Yeah, like I'm home, bro.
I'm
like,
from here.
Yeah.
I'm from here.
Like, why aren't you? You go over there.
Yeah, I mean, shit, my people been here for what, 14 generations. So
yeah, my people forever, dog. Like we're here.
Should probably more than that.
Before New Mexico.
If you want to count the Pueblo ancestry that we have, like that goes back thousands of years, right?
Before New Mexico was New Mexico.
Because like Hispanos of New Mexico is like, it's a lower amount of native indigenous than most other Latin groups. So most of us are like 70-30, you know, Spanish versus native. And all of it's Pueblo. Like we don't have Navajo, you know, Apache, because our ancestors settled right next to them in the Rio Grande Rift and farmed next to them, you know. And overwhelmingly, the male side is from the Spanish side and the female side is from the Pueblo Indian side.
Dog, you literally almost hit my fucking ancestry on the fucking head, bro. I'm like 65 Spain, and the rest indigenous, New Mexico indigenous, so that's fucking crazy. That's almost exactly,
almost everybody that's from here is going to be that, that. Where I'm like half of that because my dad has blonde hair and blue eyes.
But see, people don't understand that. You could go into Mexico like deep in, you could see people with blonde hair and blue eyes. But it's because Spain tried to conquer the entire fucking world. That's why you have Cubanos and you have Filipinos. They're like Asian. You know what I mean? Like so for me, I always like to use the word Latino, right? Because it's like all of us, bro. We're all connected. Whether we're on opposite, you know what I mean, Puerto Rican or you're from Mexico, like it's all Latin descent, bro. It's all connected in a way.
As you know, in this culture, people want to be Spanish, not Mexican.
Oh man, Mexico, like the fight has been crazy. I'm like, bro, that's fucking, bro. It's a trip because you like, and I'll explain it. Like my ancestors.
I mean, my grandparents still have a Spanish flag in their house, you know,
and they'll argue, bro. They'll argue.
Talk about that.
Yeah, Diego said the same thing. Yeah, his dad. Yeah, but it's a fight that's been.
Would you guys
kind
of know the history of that?
Yeah, they tried to come in. I kind of know it. Like they wanted to erase the history of it entirely, completely. The indigenous people, they wanted them gone. So my ancestors were the ones on the horse, but also the ones down in the fields getting fucking raped and pillaged, bro, by the Spaniards. So there's a rift in us. There's a split in our like being. Bro.
And keep in mind, it's very different in different regions too. Like New Mexico was
New Mexico specific.
The boondocks, bro. So El Paso was the end of civilization in New Spain. Like so. You know, there's a lot of Sephardic Jew in northern New Mexico too, from you know when they kicked all the Jews out of Spain in 1492. So a lot of them came to the New World and kind of hid there as well. But this, you know, New Mexico wasn't a conquistador situation that was similar to like Mexico or the 49ers where they're looking for gold. These were Franciscan settlements. You know, they were farms. And really the settlement was about Catholicism. It was about, you know, passing that on. Now, of course, there was also, you know, horrible things that happened as well, at both sides, but more on the Spanish side than the other way. But in reality, it was an isolated genetic pocket, and that's what you'll see, and that's why like a lot of us are like third, fourth cousins. You know, everywhere from maybe Berlin to Pueblo, Colorado, is its own unique ethnic group. Yeah, and there's really been three groups of those ethnic groups: the Hispanos, the Tejanos, and the Californianos, and those two groups have been mostly eliminated by now. By new Latino people that came in, and so the history is, we're talking 1598 was Española, 1610 is Santa Fe. So we had those Spanish settlements that were there, right? So New Spain all the way up until 1821 when Mexico Revolution happened, but that didn't really reach up here, you know. It didn't come up that far. And, you know, around 1850 or somewhere in there, the Americans came in. And so when they came in, they created a three-tiered system. So Anglo-Americans at the top, the Spanish, who were the previous ones at the top, and the indigenous, pure indigenous at the bottom. And it was mostly the Pueblos that were not in the Rio Grande Rift that were really at the bottom. You know, Acoma and all those places. The ones that were in the Rift were much more integrated, you know. So everything along the Rio Grande River, much more integrated, much more blended as well.
Into the system they were creating.
And very mestizo, right? Like after 2 or 3 generations. So the reason why we stay 70-30 is when you have a 70-30 and a 70-30, when they have babies, it's still 70-30. Yeah. That's why none of us can specifically track our indigenous ancestry. We can't name an individual, but all of us are 30%. That's why we have dark eyes and dark...
Yeah, and dark hair. So that makes fucking complete sense, bro, because when it was that system, that's why they tried to flush out the Spanish speaking, because I remember my nana, my grandma, like...
And that came actually way later.
They would not, like, if they caught us speaking Spanish, like, they didn't want my dad to speak, they didn't want no one to speak it, because when they would go to school, they would be punished.
So what you're talking about is like the 40s, 50s, 60s is when that happened. So the Homestead Act, you know, every land grant had to be in English, and that allowed the the English or the Americans to steal land from the Spaniards who had held this land for 300 years.
Yep.
And most of those, the trains really came into Moray County primarily, but also into Santa Fe when the railroads came in. And this is, now we're into like Billy the Kid era, right? Like Civil War era. And that's that rancher
Wild West
mob era.
Lincoln County War era.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, so that was sort of the status quo until like the 1920s or so. And around that time is when you really saw that three-tiered system ramp up. And my grandpa was a good example of this. Like, he didn't speak English till maybe third grade. And so in school they banned, and so we're talking post World War II, very America rah-rah. You know, we don't like others. No English allowed in school. So he peed his pants in like second or third grade because he didn't know how to ask to go to the bathroom.
Fuck.
And that's, you know, that stung with him his whole life. And so he legally changed his name from Pedro to Pete, and you know, they viewed that their children would have a much better life if they were more Englandized, right? So like my mom, her name is Judith Jean Romero. Her brother is Jeffrey Romero and Carl Romero. That's why we have all the Anglo first name and Hispanic last name.
Yeah.
In New Mexico, which you don't see in El Paso and Tucson and, you know, all these other places, because here it was much more of that separation. And I think it was early 1900s when the Pancho Villa thing. There were refugees coming from Gadsden territory that were coming up here, and they were Mexicans from Jalisco and Sonora and those places. The Spanish people that were here, they were in their second place position, right? And they didn't want to lose their position. And so they started to identify as Spanish Americans at that time instead of Mexican Americans, who these new people that were coming in.
That's fucking crazy.
So they said, oh, no, we're not like them.
We're already here. We're us.
Yeah, don't mix us with those people. We're Spanish. So that's actually it's within the last 100 years where that really started to come up.
Wow. That's how it started. That's where the riff got created.
Yep. So that's where I'm not Mexican, I'm Spanish. Around that time is where that really came from.
And that's that generation. That makes complete sense, bro. Because I remember my grandpa, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah. It's their generation and the generation before them. Those two generations really. The generation before them still didn't really speak English, but they were adamant on not being Mexican and being ethnically different. Yeah. And they are a little bit. Like New Mexicans are a little lighter skinned than...
Yeah, we are. Because I think we have more Spanish.
Right, a little more Spanish. Spain, Instead of like a 50-50, it's, like I said, it's more 70-30. So we have dark features, dark eyes, dark hair.
But more light complected.
But a lighter complected generally because of that same inbreeding Spanish...
Yeah.
You know, because we didn't have a lot of genes coming into the gene pool for several hundred years. Very isolated territory.
Yeah, see, that's funny you said that about the names because my grandpa's Ronaldo, right? But instead of my dad's Junior, but they never called him Ronaldo. It's not even in his birth certificate. It's Ray.
Yeah, see? And in the 50s, so my mom's generation, they were all born in like the 50s. Not any of them speak a word of Spanish.
Yeah.
And they couldn't even communicate with their grandparents because they didn't speak, their grandparents didn't speak English at all. Wow. So now you have all these, Carl Romeros.
That's so crazy. And see, my mom...
who don't feel that connected to Latino culture. They can't really understand Spanish, so they're not listening to reggaeton or whatever.
They're not connected to that culture.
And that's why they have a little bit of the Spanglish and...
See, my dad...
Wow, that's crazy, bro.
It's
You
funny.
cleared up a lot of shit.
It's interesting, bro, because my dad, right, the Maestra side, we're from Belen, right? They moved to Albuquerque, whatever, but the Maestra side is from Belen, and my mom's Valdez side is from Cubero, right? So my mom grew up in Cubero. That's Spanish land grant, brother.
Right.
And I lived in San Fidel too, so that's also Spanish land grant.
Right.
So my mom and them, my nana, she taught my mom Spanish. My mom, all my tias, they all speak. They're all fluent in it. Not as much anymore because there's not very many people around still going back and forth with them.
And the dialect is dying out. I think it'll be gone in 10 years. The Mexican dialect,
100% different. So my dad spoke way less Spanish than my mom, but it's because my grandma, my grandpa, they treated him like out in Belen at school, like they punished him, like they made him feel like shit, like you were talking about with your grandpa. Like it stuck with them, so they refused to pass it on. They wanted them to have an easier life.
They thought they were doing a service for them by giving them Anglo names.
Yep.
And I don't think it's a surprise that every single one of my mom and all of her brothers, they all married white people.
Because that's with the direction that they said
that was obviously elevated to them and thought as what you were supposed to look for.
The goal.
Yeah.
It's the goal. It's the goal to level up.
To middle class or to upper middle class or whatever.
And what it ended up doing was we ended up losing
our heritage.
Sight of our heritage.
Yeah.
Like you have to dig now, bro.
Yeah.
And then you get people like that don't understand it, right? We'll say things because we say and we speak Spanglish. Like there's a lot of us that are still down here fluent. Like I'm not going to sit here and act like some of them aren't, but like I'm not fluent in it. I'll be 100%. But a lot of us that aren't. And people that are, they're like, oh, you're a fucking no sabo kid. What the fuck? You don't know your heritage. I'm like,
Pinche
bro,
coco.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you got to understand, like where we're from on the map, like
it's different, bro.
They literally tried to completely drain it out of us, bro. like by completely getting rid of our heritage.
Yeah,
and
I think most of that's self-inflicted, right?
Yes.
Like I don't think a lot of it was. I think it was just copying. I think it was just like, shit, I can see these white people up the street that have nicer cars.
let me do it like them.
Yeah. We want to give my kids an advantage, right?
Yeah.
And little did they know that in the future, being bilingual will be such an advantage that
They
they're
ended
actually
up-
disadvantaged.
It was actually a disadvantage, bro. Yeah.
Now
for
in
real.
business, you know, everything. Like, I mean, like, look at like Snow the Product, right? She can speak she can rap just as good in Spanish as English.
As she can. And it
Holy
gives you
shit.
it's a leg up, bro.
Two fucking different industries
And,
completely.
bro, we're not minority, brother. Like,
No.
we're fucking majority.
Yeah, Latinos
And
are the majority
It's because,
now.
like we were just saying, Spain was this close to total world
Yeah.
domination,
Yeah.
bro. Like, this fucking close.
Yeah.
And it bled in everything.
Yeah.
So we're not the minority, we're the majority. And there's still rifts, though. There's still fights. Like
yeah.
there's still fights between, and
Oh,
we're all
bro.
connected in a way. It's crazy. It's fucking
When we get
crazy.
up in northern New Mexico, it's Spanish Mexican.
Oh my God.
So my wife is Panamanian, so then they have their rivalries with other Central American countries, and then like Dr. Carlos, one of my physical therapists, he's Venezuelan, and they have their rivalries with Colombia, and then
And
you know,
it's-
Puerto Ricans against Dominicans,
It's all
That's
Latin
what-
descent. It's all
Argentinians against Brazilians.
It's all Latino. It's all Latin descent. It all comes from the same. There's the lineage can be tracked.
But there's also completely different racial groups in every country. Like Argentina they're Latinos, but they're 90% white.
Yeah.
Argentina is significantly whiter than America. Significantly. Uruguay, same thing. It's like 95% white. They're almost all German and like Italian.
That's
know?
a trip,
That's
bro.
crazy, yeah.
Chile too. Chile's like majority white. So they speak Spanish, but you would look at them as like a whole ass white person.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
wouldn't. If you seen them walking down the street, you'd be like, oh, there goes Becky.
Well, they didn't have as much of the Middle Passage either. So then you look at countries that had a shitload of Middle Passage. So where did most of the slaves go? Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil had the most slaves by far. We always think like America invented slavery. Not even close. I mean, if you want to look at the islands. Why? Look at Haiti. Look at Cuba. Look at Puerto Rico. I mean, this is people. They kidnapped people and took them there to grow sugar. And Brazil had the most. So when you look at Brazilians and Puerto Ricans in particular, they're triracial. So they're indigenous, black, and Latino or white, Hispanic, right? So they have their own unique, setup. And then like countries like El Salvador and Honduras are like 90% indigenous. So yeah, they speak Spanish, but they don't really have a lot of Spanish blood or European blood.
And they look different too.
Yeah. And then like the different indigenous groups in different areas, like the Mayans obviously look a lot different than the natives in New Mexico, or like the Mohawks or the Cherokee, who are much lighter, or like Alaskans, like the Inuits. I mean, they're super fair skinned, right? Mm-hmm. So unsurprisingly, the closer to the border, the equator you are, the darker the skin.
You are, yeah, it's all glow. It's all
so different mestizo
globe
groups,
again almost.
Look different, right? When you're mixing, European with indigenous. Those groups look different in like Alaska than they will in Central America or whatever.
Based on where they are on this plate.
Yeah.
That we all live
Yeah.
on.
So they were all indigenous, but they didn't, on the plate.
He's trying to sneak it in there, bro. He's trying to sneak it in.
Yeah, it's just Jesus.
Based on the plate positioning, right?
Yeah, so New Mexico, you go back to the first 14 families or whatever, and really like almost everybody here is like within 5 genetic groups away from each other.
Yeah.
So I did the ancestry thing a while ago, and I even put a pseudonym. I lied about where I lived. I used a completely wrong name. And to tell you how accurate that shit immediately linked me with my first cousins.
That's fucking crazy.
That's great. That is. I've been wanting to do that.
Yeah, that's bro. It was bro. I'm glad I did it. It was like on sale for like fucking $40 for 2 people.
Yeah.
It was the shit, bro. Yeah.
And
it
you're
keeps,
like, and it's bro, it's so accurate. It's exactly what I would.
It keeps, and like every like month I'll be like, you got a new match. I'm like, oh, duh. It's like I'm like matched like it's a dating app, but it's all your
except for it's your cousin.
But it's your cousins.
My mother's my sister.
Hey, listen here. If anybody's gonna kiss my cousin, it's gonna be me.
Hey, but it like every month, I swear to God, what's got you got a new DNA match.
Yeah.
But it is accurate.
Dude, accurate as fuck.
Scary, bro.
And like I said, for me, like I could have guessed this. Like I said, my mom is from here, my dad is from West Texas. Like they're definitely blonde hair, blue eyed, not Hispanic at all. I'm like, yeah, I guarantee you, my number 1 is going to be Spanish, and then it's going to be like English, and then Portuguese, and
Wales, and all those. Well, and a lot of people.
So I'm like, I don't have anything over 20%. That's how fucking much of a mutt I am.
So mixed.
I'm 20% Spanish. I'm like 18% English. 12-13% native.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like 13% Swedish, like 12% Irish.
But everybody's mixed everything.
Yeah, but this is like, it's crazy to not have anything over 20.
Yeah, that is kind of a trip. That is watered down.
Not
bro.
a single thing over 20%.
That's like the Gasset Valero.
Damn, dog.
But you could calculate it back. Like I could easily take my chart and then calculate it to my parents exactly.
Yeah.
You know, to the numbers that we were talking about. So
I
like,
think
my mom's going to be 70% Iberian because, you know, you're going to have Basque, you're going to have Portuguese, and you're going to have Spanish.
I'm glad you said that because I think people look at it and they don't realize that Spain at that time wasn't split.
Right.
Like you have Basque, you got Portuguese. All that was it's the same.
Yeah.
It was the same place. They just split
everything south of Andorra. And if you really dug deeper into that lineage, there's probably a lot of so if we talk about an ethnic group, everything around the Mediterranean is going to be Mediterranean. So we call it white, but like Italian, Greek, Lebanese, Moroccan, Spanish, it's white, but it's not what you think of when you say white. It's not Swedish, Finnish.
Yeah.
You know, so in those groups too, remember the Reconquista had just happened. Like they just drove the Moors out of Spain. So there's going to be a lot of intermixing of you know, Northern African groups, Moroccans and Berbers and people like that. So if you really dug into that Iberian Peninsula, like you're going to find a lot of lineages back towards the Middle East.
That's fucking crazy, bro.
They don't do that in those charts, but it would be there if you really started parsing.
If you started like that, well, I think.
And I guess if you go deep enough, we're all going to go back to Africa.
Honestly, bro, and every single percent, like it's like I want to say it's like 1%. I got 2%. You know what I mean? But
unless you're like Northern European, you might have a little bit Neanderthal.
Yeah. It's true. It's fucking true. But so like
I didn't get any Neanderthal.
I think it gives you the foundation, like the DNA test, like it lays it out for you, and then after that, it's up to you to dive in any deeper that you want to go.
But the fact that it matched me with like my Mexican cousins here, my Spanish cousins, excuse me.
Yeah. Hey, you don't want to start no beef, dog? Come on, bro. This shit runs deep here.
Norteños here, huh?
Yeah.
In serio, Holmes.
Seriously, dog.
A la
Serious,
verga,
bro. Fucking a la verga, brother. What are you trying to start some
bro?
You fucking trying to start some fucking beef, dog? What the fuck, brother?
Shit.
I'm fresh out of frajos, brother. I gave it to homie at the fucking Valero, dog.
The Valero.
With their fucking watered down gas, brother. Hey,
but then even like my Texas like second cousins who I know personally, like leave me 10% there. And then there was a bunch of like, you know, second cousins here in New Mexico that I've never met. Like, you know, my grandpa had like 12 brothers and sisters, and
they were just fucking.
Yeah,
back then,
bro. I'm like, damn, y'all pregnant every other year?
There was nothing else to do, brother. They had, brother, there was nothing else to do, bro. They didn't have Twitter, brother. They were fucking.
Have you seen the stats on like young males, like the amount of like celibacy that there is now?
Really? We were just talking about this on the last podcast. We were talking about No Nut November. Fuck that, bro. I got enough
crazy.
drama.
It's like I think it was like 30% of men are like now virgins by 25 or 30 or something like that.
Fuck?
It was a fucking huge number.
What the hell's going on? Wow. I was trying to get that shit done.
Bro, young people. All right, so we talk about drugs. Young people do less drugs than we did. They drink less and they have way less sex.
What the fuck? They sound way boring, bro.
I don't know.
Damn, I'm glad I'm not a young person anymore.
I don't know, man. They just
I'm glad I ain't a young person anymore.
But to that point, like, what are you gonna do on Friday night? You weren't on Instagram, YouTube, fucking watching videos. We're like, let's go get drunk and try to pick up some chicks, bro.
I mean,
like,
that was, but the best stories, bro. I'll take those.
And
to
nobody
the grave.
filmed that shit.
No, that's why I'm gonna take them to the
evidence.
grave. There's no evidence. That's why I could take them to the grave. Dog.
You can tell your homies who remember, but
yeah, and then some of them
that
are
shit ain't
getting
gonna
so
pop
old.
up on.
Some of them are getting so old they can't remember it correctly anymore, though, bro. Like, damn,
No, that's
really
not
did
what
that?
happened, bro.
No, you're telling the story all wrong.
You had the
now.
fat chick, not me.
Yeah. So for you, my brother, now with all the successes you've had, you know, what's the end game? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, you got a break, you got a walking away point. Man. You got to like.
I think I'll probably see myself celebrating the 10-year anniversary of you asking me this question.
Hey, bro, well, let's mark it down. When we upload it, we'll know it. Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I just float with the wind, man. I'm not one with future plans or whatever. It's just, you know, just be active, try to give back to the community, help people if you can. Yeah, I don't really have anything, man. Like,
I like that, bro, because one of my favorite fucking phrases, dog, is play it by ear.
Man.
I'll never forget, like, when I was a kid, I would hear that all the time, but I didn't get it, right?
Yeah.
Until I asked and I felt dumb because I was already, like, a little older. I should have known what it meant, and I asked my dad, and he told me, he's on Mijo, always, if you don't understand something, you don't want to look stupid in front of people, always ask me, and if I know, I'll tell you, right? So I was like, well, what does it mean? He's like, well, think of it like a musician, right? If they don't have the sheet music, they just pick up the instrument and they play it by ear.
Yeah, they eat those gummies that Tyson and
exactly, the Tyson and Holyfield gummies, and they play it by ear, dog. Yeah. I like that, bro. That's my vibe too. That's the way I look at it.
Like,
too.
I never would have thought I did YouTube, but like I used to make fun of these motherfuckers. I'm like, fucking YouTubers, get a job, you losers.
Now you're a YouTuber.
I do find the universe tends to do that though. Like, everybody I talk shit about or anything I talk shit about, the universe is like, here you go. Like, I've definitely had like people that like athletes I've worked with that I was definitely talking like shit about the week before, and the next thing you know, they're in my office or whatever. I'm like,
that's funny, bro. Yeah, the universe has Great sense of humor, brother.
So then I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I would never work on The Rock. I would never do a video.
Watch next week, bro.
Hey,
he's gonna post a picture.
Cool,
I start doing shit like I'm gonna fucking reverse engineer this motherfucker.
Hey,
you know?
that's manifestation.
But yeah, I'm never one to like. I don't have goals. Like just whatever comes, and you know, I didn't think I would be in Jackson's or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to be a better me every day. I'm not. I know a lot of people do the vision boards and like this holds them accountable, but that just hasn't never been my style. Just you know, I move with the wind, and you know, whatever opportunity comes up, I just usually say yes to, and just try to make the best of it. And it's worked well so far.
I was about to say it's fucking working for you, my dog, for real. And I look forward to whatever the fuck the next 10 years does hold for you, brother. And I hope we do are like, hey, brother, it's been exactly 10 years, bro.
Your podcast is bigger than Rogan now.
Listen, bro. Hey, if that's the case, I know what you're doing in 10 years, bro. The end game is you'll be back for episode, whatever the fuck it is. I don't want to do the math, my brother.
Jamie, pull that shit up. You know?
Hey, thank you for pulling up, my brother.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate the fuck out of it, bro.
Yeah,
Nothing but love.
Appreciate you going through, brother.
Man, episode 23 in the fucking books. In the fucking books, Jason.
Let's go. 505.
With the doctor.
Where do you get the merch from?
I am JohnnyJames.com. Y'all know where to find it. You know what I mean? Where can they find you on YouTube?
This is my name.
Just his name, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can figure it out. You guys know what it is. You know what? Talking about that.
But buy some merch.
Yeah,
Don't subscribe to me. Buy some merch.
And subscribe to me. Come on. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe. And go get some All Sick Gas and OG. Y'all already know. Before we get out of here, before we say peace out to the fucking audience, I just did it. But man, sometimes when I see people on YouTube saying, subscribe, like, that's the last thing I want to do, man.
Yeah, I probably should. Mr. Beast and all the people are saying you should, but I'm not going to do it.
My brother Will's told me the same things. Oh, listen, I know you don't like it, motherfucker, but you better start saying it.
I'm too stubborn, bro. I don't give a fuck.
So audience,
I'll tell them to unsubscribe from me.
Listen, audience,
I don't care.
This is off of Will's recommendation.
Unsubscribe to me and subscribe to Johnny James.
On that note, until next time, respect, connect. Peace.